What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am so excited you are here. We're gonna learn together. This is the Tarver Academy Summer Professional Development. We're gonna learn. Learning's happening. It's going down today. We're about to get started. My name is Tyler. I run Tarver Academy. It's an online resource for teachers and students and educators, and it's a great community where people just get involved and learn and get better. And I throw resources to you guys, throw ideas around. It's just a lot of fun. Just a whole lot of fun, Tarver Academy. So if you need anything, I'm here. TarverAcademy.com has a ton of resources and things that you can go to check out. A little bit about me, just so you know, you don't think I'm just like, hey, here's a random YouTuber talking about, videos or whatever. My name's Tyler. I started out teaching high school math, and then I moved into a tech director / facilitator role. Then I was a principal of a school 6th through 12th grade. 6th through 12th grade. Fun ages. That's good stuff, okay? Good stuff. Never any drama, 6th through 12th grade. No drama. And our school had waivers from the state, so we did a lot of online, we did a lot of blended, we did a lot of in-person learning, all the above. So we get to learn a lot, make some mistakes, do some stuff right, and try to learn from everything we did. Then after that, I went to central office, and I was director of curriculum instruction, and now I'm the dean of NLC College. And I'm so excited to be here, learning and growing with you guys. I'm also giving a little bit of time for people to jump in, get started, and we're about to go through some of the housekeeping stuff. We're gonna do a little check-in right now at the beginning, and then at the end of this video, at the end of this training, we're going to have a chance for you to get a certificate showing that you actually showed up and you did the learning, okay? I think that this training and the other trainings that you are gonna get the chance to be a part of this summer are gonna help you grow as an educator. And if you grow as an educator, all it does is help the students and the community that you live in. And so let's try our best to learn something, take something away from this that we can put in our repertoire and get better with. Okay, so the first thing I need you guys to do is I need us to check in, okay? And this check-in, what it does is it timestamps when you are here so that you might not need this later, but if your administrator or whoever comes back and they're like, how do I know you didn't just click to the end? This shows that you were here at the beginning. So you can scan the QR code that is on the screen if you have your cell phone. And on my phone with me, get your phone out. I'll use my wallet, Atlanta Braves wallet. Film that, you just hold your phone over that QR code that you see on the screen. You'll see something pop up at the top. Click that and it'll take you to where you can fill out that you were here. It's very short, very quick. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to do that right now. Go ahead, scan the QR code, go to the website, check in, and when you do that, you will get an email. If you do not get an email immediately, this happened, I told you, I was a tech director for a long time, okay? I'd say a long time. I was a tech director long enough to know that if you don't get that email that you're filling out right now, it's because you typed your email address in wrong. That's exactly what happens. 19 times out of 19 and a half times, that's what happens. So go ahead and go to that. Remember, at the end of this session, there's gonna be another QR code that you're gonna scan that is going to give you the certification saying that you actually did the training. Both of these are time-stamped. So if your administrator or whoever's in charge of PD for your district wants to see that and be like, how do I know you did this? You've got your check-in email that is time-stamped by me, not by you. It's into a PDF or it's into that email. And then you will also have the timestamp on your certificate showing that you did this. Okay, so hopefully everybody is getting that done. Okay, giving you a little bit of time. If you have any trouble, just keep trying because I think it's pretty important to get that logged in. Now, while we're doing that, if you're finishing that up, or if you can hear me, what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to hit the red subscribe button. This is my YouTube channel, Tarver Academy. That's what I call it. It's kind of where I got this started. I had this before I had the website, and then I put up the website to put all the resources and all the stuff I was doing. But if you would hit the red subscribe button right now, that would be huge. That would be just super cool of you. And that way, you can hopefully see some of the other trainings that I'm doing, see some videos I do throughout the year to help teachers, to help students, to have fun and learn together. So hit that red subscribe button. Did you do it? Did you? You get the like too, the little thumbs up. That's just YouTube etiquette. You get the thumbs up. It's just really nice to do. So you want to hit the thumbs up button, you can. And I would love to start this. How about this? in the chat, okay? Because if you're watching this on my website, which is where you can watch it, that's fine. You're not gonna see the chat, but if you click and watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see a chat rolling on the side of the screen. Start it off. I want you guys in the chat to say who you are, like give your name, tell us what you teach and where you teach, okay? If you're an administrator, you can say that I'm a principal, or you can say your central office, whatever you do. I've got some people that have signed up for this that are aspiring educators. So this is great to say, I wanna be an educator, I wanna be an English teacher for high school, throw that in there. If you wanna be a kindergarten teacher, toss that in there, say you're in school. It's a great way to network, because I think there is an amazing community of educators here wanting to learn and grow together. And I think that it's great if we look out for each other. So throw in the chat, I want you to say your name, what you teach, and where you teach. Throw that in the chat. All right, man, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's our warm up. We're feeling good. We're stretching it out. It's always good to stretch before you stretch. I don't know, I heard some friends say that, so I say it from time to time. Okay, next thing. This is another little thing. I've got one right here. So I've written a couple books. I've done Superheroes Need Sleep Too. This is a children's book. It's like a nap time book, so you don't have to read that. But this one I think is super relevant for you. This is the Baller Teacher Playbook, and in it I have like practical advice. It's 18 chapters. So the idea is that you could do this like once a week with your team for a full semester, or every other week for a year, and try to improve your teaching every week. I'm not doing this to sell it to you. I'm doing this to say I'm giving some of these away all summer to people that are participating in this. So if you want a chance to win one of these, or I think I probably got some other educator books. If you're like, I don't really want your book, Tyler, I got a ton of educator books. I'll send them to you. All you got to do, follow me on Instagram at Tldr Tarver. Follow me at Tldr Tarver on Instagram, and I'm gonna be giving these out throughout the summer. You might be the person I give it to. So follow me on Instagram, and then throw something in your Instagram story if you want, just to increase your chances of me seeing it. So I'm just gonna be clicking through. I see people follow on Instagram. I'm gonna throw out stuff to them. So random people will get it. You might not, but you won't if you don't. So there we go. Y'all feeling good? Does everybody feel good? Everybody throw in the chat who they are, where they teach, what they teach. Okay, so to explain also what this is, you are watching, this is a live broadcast. So this is going as a YouTube premiere or a full-on live video. So one of the two. Either way, that chat is happening live. Everybody that jumps into this video at any point is gonna be watching it at the same time as you. So it's great to get in the chat and talk, discuss, ask questions, give input. If we ask a question in the video, you can type it in your notes, but you can also type it in the chat. You can copy paste from the chat. It's a great way for you to be a part of this live broadcast, okay? So if you have a Google Notes, if you have a notes document, if you wanna take notes by hand, I've got a template for notes if you want. It sent it to you whenever you filled out your email. It should have been on that page whenever you did your check-in at the beginning. If not, it's on like every PD page. I have my website, tarveracademy.com. Click on PD and you get a free notes template, or you can take notes in your own doc. However you want to do it, take notes, write down stuff that's relevant to you, and copy paste stuff that people put in the chat. There's gonna be people in the chat that are way smarter than me. And so I'd love for you to copy paste that into the notes, and you can take that and make your teaching game elevate. So next thing, while we're getting logged in, people are still jumping in here. They're still jumping in the video, giving you a few minutes to do that. We're also, if you want to watch these videos, because after this ends, it's going to be gone off of here. However, I'm going to be putting all of these trainings, all like 30 something trainings. I think it's over like 120 hours worth of trainings. I'm putting all of that for people that join what I call the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's a small group of educators who are trying to get better every week, and I send out weekly emails during the school year to where you're getting templates, you're getting resources, back to school starter kits, you're getting templates for Google Forms, trainings, PDs, tons of stuff every single week delivered to your inbox. And also you have access to all of these trainings. That is available if you go to tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to. I think it's a great decision. It's a great decision. Nobody's in here. Who am I talking to? I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, y'all feel good? Y'all ready to start? Y'all feel good? This is a little warm up. We'll explain what's going on. Everybody feel good? 1 to 10. Put in the chat how you feel today. Or give me this, how about this? Give me an emoji of how you're feeling today. That'd be better, 1 to 10, or give me an emoji. I'd love to see it. Or just give me a word. You're like, I don't want to do an emoji. Give me a word. How you feeling today? And let's get rolling. Remember, input in the chat, take notes, learn, grow. Welcome to the best professional development that you're gonna do. Not guaranteed, but it's an opinion, but it's also true, but it might be biased, but it's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great training. Hope you guys learn something. Hope this adds you value that you can then bring to your students and make your school, your community, yourself better in some way. Guys, we're about to get started. Y'all excited? Y'all ready? We're about to do this. Let's get ready to learn and have fun. Tarver Academy. Let's go. Let's go. Hit it. Let's go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so excited you're here for Google Classroom for intermediate training. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be great, some would say. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this up into segments. We'll have small breaks throughout the day, like 5 to 7 minute breaks where I'll be chatting. You can learn, you can converse, we can talk about some stuff. I'll present you with some things during the breaks, but if you need to go take a break, take a break. So those will happen routinely. And ideally throughout this training, you have your computer up and you're trying some of the stuff out. There's several sections here where I go through resources, and I would love for you to actually create with me. Sign into Canva and help make the headers. Go in and download a resource and upload it into a fake Google Classroom. So as I'm going through a lot of this stuff, it's going to be most helpful for you if you have another computer or device up so that you can actually go and do the things we're talking about. So that's what I recommend. So we're about to get started. The first portion of this, we're going to talk about using Google Classroom for classroom communication. So, communication is one of the keys to being good at anything, a great leader, whether that's teacher, administrator, even great student council sponsor. Like if you're a student and you're like an 11th grader and you're, I'm a student council vice president, good communication is important. You need to communicate with the people you work for and the people you work, we work for, like they're your bosses or they're like, you're serving them. You know what I mean? Communication's key. And I want to talk through some ideas, tips, ways that you can communicate using Google Classroom. So without further ado, let's kick it off and learn some Google Classroom Intermediate. Let's go. See if I can help you connect and communicate with either your students or your teachers or your entire school through Google products. Okay. So I'm going to roll through my presentation with you and just hit you with everything I got. Okay, so here we go. If you want to follow along with me, if you want to have the slideshow, that way you can skip to different slides, just scrub across the bottom and you can go to wherever you want to go. So this is Google for School and Classroom Communication and Collaboration. Okay, so starting off who I am, and I don't want to go through a ton of this, but there is one thing in my little bio I do want to hit up because I want to show you that what you're going through right now, if you're teaching online, if you're teaching remotely, if you're using Google's skills, these tools for a while or for the first time ever, I want you to know that I've been there. When it was 2013, I was a principal of a school and we had waivers where students could work in person, like they're in there with the teacher, they're in a classroom, but also if they needed to for any reason and they applied for it, they could actually work from home. So they could do it online or they could have a mixture of it. They'd come in for a couple days and be at home for a couple days. So it's honestly in our school, we had a mixture of all of that. So I taught some of the classes, but also I was principal of the school. So I got the chance to see the struggles I had in my classes, but also help work through the struggles from the student's perspective and other teachers' perspective. So it's like, I got a crash course in the difficulties of online learning. And so here we go. I'm going to hit you with a couple things I learned along the way. Now, I don't want to use this time to just sit there and go, all right, here's how you do this, how to click on, turn your tabs blue at the top. Like, I'm not going to spend my time walking you through this. And the reason is I've already got those videos. They're on this channel. Subscribe to it so you can find it. In the comments, let me know what is your favorite Google tool as of right now. I want to know that, okay? So I've got a ton of resources and you can see them. You can either go to bit.ly/gtarver, and I've got a link in the description if you want to do that, or you can just type it in. And what that's going to do is that's going to take you to a Google Doc that has video tutorials that I made. I stayed up from like 9 p.m. to midnight for like 3 months making all these tutorials on how to do pretty much everything that I could think of within Google. So it's forms, docs, sheets, slides, YouTube, classroom, all of it. I've got video tutorials on how to do this, okay? But also I've got them in this presentation, which you can get to by the link in the bio as well. Or you can go to my website, tarveracademy.com/Google, and I've got all those same resources. It's not in a Google Doc, it's on a website. So there you go. If you need or want any of those resources, they are there, okay? So that's your how-to stuff. So if you're frustrated that I'm not showing you, well, how do I do this? And I'm not walking you through it. Well, first off, you don't talk like that. Second off, I have built those tutorials already, so I don't want to waste your time here. I want to talk about an overview of how you can collaborate, communicate, and what's important during this time with your students or your teachers, okay? So here we go. Why Google? Why should I care about using Google during this time? Because a lot of schools, like you might have a different LMS instead of Google Classroom. That's fine. You can still adapt and utilize these tools. But a lot of people, a lot of LMSs realize how powerful Google is, how wide their net is. And so what they do is they allow you to incorporate Google tools into your LMS that you pay money for. So I'm going to tell you the top 3 reasons that Google is such a valuable tool. Number 1, it is easy to use, okay? One of the things I love about Google tools and anything in their suite is that a lot of times companies will have one way to do something. So say you did want to turn a tab blue. Okay, that's weird, but let's say you want to turn a tab blue. A lot of companies are like, all right, well, if you want to turn that tab blue, you got to go here, click here, go this, do this, do this, do this, and boom. That's the only way you can do that. And if you want to know how, here's a little paper clip. Boop. Here's how you do that, okay? With Google, they make 4 or 5 different ways to do the thing you want to do. So if you want to click that or tab and make it blue, I might think, well, I just want to right click on it and turn it blue. Right click, tab color, blue. Boom. You, in your mental process, Google knows we're not all the same. They know you might want to go to File, Tabs, Color, Blue. They know that we all process things different mentally, so they try to make different paths to it instead of one labyrinth to get to the one location. They make a bunch of different ways to get to the X on the treasure map, okay? And that's one thing I love about it because it makes it easier, less confusion, that's less stall time, less wasted time, less frustration for you. Second thing, integrated. Google is integrated across the entire internet. Chrome is a browser. You can use that to run everything with Google. Remember all your passwords. Keep you logged into everything. You've got your Gmail, which is your email, which is attached to your Google Classroom. It's attached to your forms, your sheets, your docs, your slides, your entire Google Drive suite. It's also, Google owns YouTube. Google makes great products, and if they don't, they buy people who made great products, and then they link everything they can so you can sign in with your email, and it covers 95% of what you want to use. So you don't have to remember, because you guys know teachers and students have enough passwords to remember to where they don't need to have to remember anything else. Let's remember one, and then that company covers so much ground. It saves us so much time, frustration, and hidden places we put our password, okay? So it's integrated. They want YouTube to work great in Google Forms. They want a doc to be seamlessly integrated into Google Classroom. They want all their stuff to work well because that means you'll use more of their stuff. It's selfish for them, but also we get to use it for free, so don't be too upset about it. And the third thing is they are community focused. One of the things about the internet and students using the internet is that they are very community driven through a virtual platform. Social media, YouTube, even like group texts. They feel like they're part of a community, whereas in the past, we might have been face to face to build our community, and that's the ones we felt closest to. These young people, they feel like it is real to them in the same way that was real to us. So when I was in school, I was a part of, let's say I want to be a part of student council, or I could be a part of Spanish club or yearbook, sports or band. And if I didn't fall into those 5 categories, I didn't have that community of people. As maybe I'll find a few friends that have similar interests, but it wasn't like I could be a part of that group. Now, there's so many niche markets within the internet. Anybody can find a narrow thing. Like I like cats who dress up like Elvis. You could probably find a community of people who like to dress their cats up like Elvis. So you've got options out there. So that's the thing. You have more chances to build community. So know that you can build a community with your teachers or with your students through an online platform. And I've got some ideas, some thoughts on how you can do that in the easiest way possible, okay? So first thing I want to talk about with community, collaboration, connection is your email. And when I say email, people get frustrated because it's like, email feels like a burden. It does. It feels like a lot of work, and it's always something, okay? So I've got a few tips on here in the slideshow. Again, the slideshow is linked in the description, so you can go in there and you can click and follow along with me. This is slide 6. One of the things you have to do is you have to change your mindset with regards to your email. You need to picture your email like a to-do list, okay? So any email you get, you have to read, and if it needs a response, you respond. If it doesn't, you move it along, okay? And if it's not irrelevant to you, say it's one of your 400 emails from Target that you're still getting, even though you haven't clicked anything in 2 years, you can unsubscribe. I've got a link on how to do that in here. Unsubscribe from that email list, okay? But here's the thing that's important to remember. If a student reaches out to you via email, or a teacher or a parent or anybody, if anybody reaches out to you via email, know that that is just as real as if you're teaching class, you say any questions and a student raises their hand, you look them in the eyes, and then you ignore them. That's what you're doing if you do not respond to an email. Emails have to be responded to. Stop acting like they are optional. Do you understand? I'm serious. I remember when I was a freshman in college, I had like a rough month or something, and I emailed somebody who had been a mentor to me, and he ignored my email. Since that moment, I thought, because I know what that felt like to get it ignored, and that was 2003 or 4. So it's like now, if you do that, it's even more of an impact on people, and it hurts. It hurts. It's like being ignored. So do not ignore emails. Find a way to make it work for you and get a system that makes it organized, okay? Next, let's talk curriculum maps. Now, I know your school may have something set up for lesson plans or curriculum maps or how they stay organized. Great. If you enjoy it, use that. If not, I've got a template for you. I want you to try out. I want you to edit it. I want you to make it yours. I want you to make it something that works for you. Delete columns, delete rows, make it something that works for you. But this is something that I've felt is helpful. All right, so I'm going to click on this. Keep in mind, this is a Google Sheet. That means that it is not done. It is not a PDF. It is not a piece of paper that is, oh, here it is, and I wrote on it, and now that's what it has to be for the next 10 years. This is something that you can continue to change and adapt and mold and add to. So here I'm going to click on this example one. So here's an example course map. You line it up in your week. So at the bottom you can see the tabs. It's got weeks 1 through 18. That's a semester, 18 weeks. So what I'm doing is essentially I'm tracking what I'm doing throughout every day, Monday through Friday, for the whole semester, okay? Now, let's talk about 3 different people this impacts. 1, it impacts you. You are organizing your materials. Now that our materials are moving away from the traditional textbook, well, here, I got one right here. Check this. Used to, I would work out of a textbook. All right, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And then I know that I would go to that and I would hand out a worksheet, or I would hand out an assignment. I would hand out something that the students would work through, and then I would keep that organized in a binder. Your new binder is online. So many of our resources, especially if you're remote or digital, so many of our resources are videos or links to PDFs or links to documents or docs or slides or sheets or anything, and it's on the internet. This now becomes your hub to help guide you to different places, okay? So what you'll do is you'll put in links to all this stuff. So like here's an objective. This is our objective. I can click on it. It goes to a YouTube video and it talks about our objective. So I'll know I need to play this video at the beginning of class to show students. That's actually an MBA video, so it's a terrible example. So you can go in and you can click on these things and it'll go to different things that help your students. Now, you're thinking, that's fine, Tyler, whatever. Here's where that helps you. Right now, it helps you putting it in because you're putting all that information in. You know who it's going to help the most is you 1 year from now. You know why? Because how many times have you taught a lesson at the end of the day, you thought, man, that was an okay lesson, but I think it'd be better if I changed that video out with something a little bit more applicable. Okay, you know what, I'll do that next time, but now I got to prepare for tomorrow. And then 364 days later, you've forgotten about it and you got to teach it, and then you do it and you have that same video and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot, that was bad, I need to change it, but now I got to get ready for tomorrow. This allows you to go in and reflect here on this bottom square and tell yourself in the future what you can do to make this better. Okay, so it's like you are almost giving yourself a co-teacher, which is you from the year before. So put in notes, keep it quick. Don't spend a lot of time writing an essay on it. Just write, it was good, went a little long. Okay, I know next year when I go in and I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, I need to shorten this a little bit. Also, I like to color code my system. So I use 3 colors. I use green, yellow, red. Green, yellow, red. Green is good, means go. Yellow, could be better, could slow down, could speed up, you don't know. Red is bad, I need to change it. So all I do at the end of the day, after I've taught my lesson or ran my lesson or got feedback from students, I make it red if I don't like it. So next year when I go in and I'm planning, then it's like I'm giving the work to my future self. They're gonna go in and find a new resource because that was red. So I'm gonna try something else. Okay, that's how it helps you. You know who else this can help? Collaborators. When I taught geometry, there were other teachers that taught geometry. I could go into this and we use the same textbook, but we use different resources. But sometimes he had resources I didn't know he was using, but I was like, that's a great resource. You can toss your resources in, they can toss theirs in, and you're both building it. 3 of you guys can build it. 10 people could be adding into this. You don't have to use everything, but you have options. So if like one day you're like, I'm not ready for this lesson tomorrow, you can go in and see what resources your coworkers had, and you can choose to use those or not. And it gives you options. The third person, how many of y'all are sick of lesson plans? Everybody. Principals are more sick of them than you are as a teacher, but they feel like they need to do it to know that you're doing the things in your class that you say you're doing. So what you can do is you can share this Google Sheet with your principal, and then they can go in and see at any point in time what you've got, what you're doing, what resources you're using. And also, sometimes principals get to go to PDs or do trainings that you might not get to go to because you're in the classroom. Well, guess what they can do? If I'm a principal and I'm at a training and I see this really great website that, helps assessments on slope-intercept formula, then I can go into your doc for my math teacher. I can, Command F, find, type in slope, see where you do slope throughout the year, and I can paste the link and be like, hey, this is a pretty good link. I don't know if you want to use this. And then when you get to it, you can see that link. It allows everybody to collaborate. And also, like say I need to contact my principal about something. I could go here and say this is the objective. I can right-click, insert comment. I can hit the @ symbol, tag, say my administrator is Leanne. I can tell Leanne, hey, is this good? And then I can assign it to her, and it is going to notify her, give her an email. It's like we can communicate through the doc. Or I could say, hey, change this. Hey, do this. Hey, add a resource here. Whatever, we can communicate through here. So, great resource. And I've got if you click on this right here, it'll ask you and you'll get to create your own. You can have a template. So I want to show you this too while we're here. You notice how it says make a copy? That means that when you click that, it forces you to make a copy. You click this, it duplicates my template and it's yours. Me, Tyler, I don't have access to that. Only you have access to it. It's in your Google Drive. It made a copy for you. Okay? So how do I do that? That's easy. I'll show you. So up here, do you see this in the Omni box? They're the address bar. It's Omni box is what it's called. But you go in there. At the end of all of these, there's going to be a slash, and it's going to say something like edit if you're an owner of it. I can delete that, type copy, and then now I can take that link and I can send that link out. That will force people to make a copy of it. So say you have one of these curriculum apps that you've built over 2 years and it's incredible. And then your boss, your principal is like, hey, we got a new teacher and I need you to share it with them. And you share it with them and then they go in and screw it up and you have to go in and fix it. Well, what you can do is you can force make a copy, give it to them. It'll duplicate all of it for them and they can go in and mess it up on their own. It doesn't mess with your copy. So that's just a little hack. If you want, I've got a video on how to do that in that skills checklist. Okay, next thing, let's talk about basics. If you want to create a class in Google Classroom, you should. It's pretty easy to do. If you do not see the option to create a class, it says join class, create a class. If it only says join class for you, that means you signed up as a student. You need to reach out to your administrator at your school, your tech administrator, have them put you in the group as a teacher so that you can create a class. Okay? Cool. Next, whenever I was teaching, and I was teaching math, and I was utilizing at our college, NLC College, that's what's up. I was teaching math. And what I would do is I was using Google Classroom, but one of the most important things with Google Classroom you got to keep in mind is that you're going to teach this class again a year from now. You can reuse what you're posting in there just by the click of a button. Click, and you can repost something. The problem is you can't repost it if you can't find it, okay? So When you're labeling this, make sure you work out a label system that works for you. Get something that is very procedural and something you can remember. The one I did was I would do a number at the beginning. That was the day I was teaching it. So day 1. So 1 dot, okay, decimal dot, coordinate, whatever point. I don't care what you call it. 1 dot. And then if it was a 1 in my 10th spot, that meant it was a review. So I would give it to them beforehand as a review. If it was 1.2, if a 2 was in that 10th spot, that would be classwork. A 3 is homework and a 4 is resources. That is how I organize it. So at any time, I might not have a dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, dot 4 for every single day, but if I had a dot 3, I knew, bam, that's a homework assignment. I know that when I'm going to find it and look for it. It helps me search for it later. Also, and I've got a screenshot in there of it, I created a spreadsheet where I would work out and just like list in the days. That was how I did my curriculum app, the thing I showed you earlier. You wouldn't have to do that. You could put it in your curriculum app. I did it here because I didn't have to do all the other stuff. I found what worked for me for that class, and this is how I did it. And then I linked to stuff. Makes it so much easier in the future. You do this for 1 year, it takes just a little bit of time. An extra 5 minutes a day is gonna save you hours the next year. And you're gonna be a better teacher because you're gonna build on what you did the year before. You're not gonna just keep doing the same thing in a cycle, okay? So, next thing. This is a next level feature in Google Classroom that you guys need to know, okay? Whenever you go to submit something to your class, say I go in and I drop a document for my class in Google Classroom. It gives you 3 options right here. Y'all see this? Y'all see this? Y'all see this? Get a load of this. Oh, I ran away. Here it is. Look at this. The first option, students can view the file. That means everybody can see it. They can't mess with it. They can't change it. I made something. I need you to read it or watch it or look at it. You can view it. The second option, students can edit the file. That's something I want everybody to get in on. We're all going to, I just spilled my water. We're all going to jump in to this, into this slideshow, and we're all gonna add slides to it. That's a great activity. I do that all the time. I'm like, all right, everybody jump in and do this. And they all just pile in and they start building out their slides and they create the class presentation. And then we take turns presenting. Awesome, everybody edit. The third one, and this is incredible. You can build a template or a rubric or whatever you want. You can put it in there as a doc, and then you can select make a copy for each student. What it's going to do is it's going to make a copy for all 30 or 150 or 2,000 students. It's going to make a copy for everybody. It's going to label it automatically, their name, dash, and the assignment name. And it's going to go to a folder automatically that you own and you can see immediately. So I could make just an easy, put your name here, what the assignment is, which I wouldn't need to because it's in the title. Put your name here, class period you're in, and then here's question 1, here's question 2, fill in the box. It's easy. It took me 3 minutes to make that template. I can go attach that in Google Classroom, and then I can assign it to my students. It'll create it for everybody, and then I can go in at any point in time and see their progress. So it's due in 3 days. 2 days in, I can go in and go find little Jimmy, see his, and see that little Jimmy ain't done any work. He hasn't put anything in here. I can reach out to him and say, from the doc, I can do the thing where I do at, and I can tag him. I can say, yo, little Jimmy, you ain't done anything. Start putting your work in here. Where are you at? Do you need help? Can I help you with this? Where are you stuck? Etc. And then you communicate through there, and you can see their progress. Or you can go in and say, oh, wow, Hannah is really going, like, she's going the wrong way. She's doing good work, but she is not understanding what her assignment is, and you can go and get her on the right track instead of her submitting it and getting a bad grade. So that is a phenomenal feature that they have in there where it creates an I love organization. Anybody else love organization? In the comments, do you love organization? Yes or no? If you say no, get out of here. I'm kidding. You're doing great. So next thing, if you're not using Google Meet, you should. Google Meet is an amazing feature, and Google is just, it's like they turned it up like times 8 speed at the past like 2 months. They had it was a good feature, and they were like rolling it out. They were changing from video hangouts to Google Meet. Then they were just like, nope, we got to do it. And they shot off, and now it's actually available to everybody, not just classes. But you have a Google Meet that is specifically attached to your class. And I've got 2 places right here where you can click it to go to that meet. That's for your class to meet. Only your class. It's secure, okay? It's in there. It's all directly in your classroom. You don't have to go out and create it. You just click the link. Students can see it. They can click the link. They can be in there. Boom. Google Meets, use it. And if you're like, well, I don't like Google Meet because I can't see all the students in the class. It only shows the person who's talking. There's a Chrome extension. I've got a video on it. Or you can just search Grid View. Click on it. That extension will give you the ability to see everybody's face at the same time. It is great. The end. Also, you can record and export your session so if a student misses, they can watch it later. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Hey, it's Tyler here. I'm just going to give you a little break. So if you need to go do something, you need to go use the restroom, get a snack, get something to eat, whatever, you can go do that. I was going to chat with you about some stuff, give you some time to do that and check in, maybe say hi. If you want in the chat, let's do a little check-in. In the chat, how you feeling? Toss in your emoji of how you feeling right now. Let's do a little emoji checkup, if you will. So while you're doing that, I do want to give, you know what? I spent a lot of time writing this book, and I genuinely think this book is going to help you in your classroom. It's gonna inspire you more than anything. It's a read with me, and one of the things that I feel like I've never been the smartest dude in the room. I've never been, the most talented, but I'll say this, I was always been pretty approachable, I think. I've been approachable, and I think what this is, I've tried to be as relatable as possible. I'm talking about my experiences, things I've run into in the classroom, what I've learned as a teacher and as an administrator and as a student, what I learned. And so this is the Baller Teacher Playbook. If you're interested in checking this out, I recommend, of course I recommend, it's my book. It's not the best book on education, but I think it's good enough to help you in some way. It's got a lot of practical experience in it. I've got quotes. That's a do you boo-boo. I could have picked a better chapter. Here's one thing. I want to show you one thing that I did at the end of each chapter, because I know teachers. Okay, I put in practical application, I put in reflection, because we know reflection is important, even though we never have time to do it. But it's got spots for you to write that in, so this is something you can work on by yourself or with your team. But here's the part that I did, and this is legit just for teachers. I don't know if you can see that. I put in, at the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR. That's internet talk for too long, didn't read. So what that means is, let's say you've got a team meeting, okay? Because there's 18 chapters in here. That means you and your team, or you and your building, you can go through a chapter once a week. You meet on your planning period and spend 10 minutes talking about what you did, what you tried, what worked, what didn't work, stuff to help improve your class and improve your students. Every week you can do that. Have you ever done this? In the chat, be honest, you ready? Have you ever had a team meeting where you're supposed to read something and you're walking over to the meeting and you're like, oh no, I forgot to read the thing I'm supposed to read that we're gonna discuss for like 15 minutes. So you just try to chill and hopefully don't get called on or get called out for not reading it. At the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR where in 2 to 5 bullet points, I summarize the chapter. So you could be walking to the meeting, you could read these 3 or 4 bullet points and be able to have a conversation about the entire chapter. There's stories in here, there's practical experience, there's ways that I messed up, ways that I failed, and then ways that I feel like I succeeded, and I'm just talking through what I learned from both of those. And I would love for you to learn and grow with me. So if you want to check out that book, it's on Amazon. I'll have the link on the screen if you want to get it. Link is in my bio. I link links everywhere to it. So Baller Teacher Playbook. I think it can help you in your classroom. Okay, we're about to get started. Kick back into it. Hopefully you're ready to roll, ready to go. And let's jump back in. Let's jump back in like Michael Phelps, okay? Well, does that work? Does that work? I mean, he jumps into the pool. That's what I was going for. I need to know more like high diver. High divers would have been better. I'll tell you this, we're gonna stick the landing like Carrie Strug. Y'all remember her? Carrie Strug, remember the Olympics? Georgia Olympics? Atlanta Olympics? You remember that? It's okay. It's a very narrow reference. All right, let's get started. Let's kick it off. Let's jump back in. Get your notes out. Get your screens pulled up. Get your coffee ready. Get your ice water, your sweet tea. If you're from Arkansas like me, you know you like that sweet tea. And we're about to kick it off. Here we go. Let's get back in it. Let's get back in it. I'll see you guys. Okay. Here's a big one. Create discussion within your classes. So, I'm going to talk about a resource I made, but there are other YouTubers and other people that have made these resources. Some people charge for them, which I get. It's fine. They put a lot of time and work into it. I chose to make mine free because I want to help teachers teach in their class and students grow and learn. So here's an example resource, but you can apply this to anything. I was thinking through what a bell ringer is? Bell ringer is where at the start of class, you do a problem that either relates to a previous topic or students will research an upcoming topic or what you're working on now, and they do that while you're taking roll or doing administrative things. It helps get their brain working, get them working while you're doing something else. How can you do this either in the classroom or virtually or online? You can find something that is short and sweet, but also gets their head turning, gets their brain working, starts a discussion in their class about a topic. I chose to do one on quote of the day. So a lot of people love quotes. I love good quotes. They inspire me. They're something that reminds you, also make you think. And so what I did was I filmed 180 bell ringers, essentially quote of the day videos, showing people how to, not showing people, but talking students through the process of a famous quote. I list the quote. I've got on most of the videos, I've got it listed on the screen. I was like, here's a quote from a notable person. Here's what they said. And then I tell the students to pause the video and write down their thoughts. Comment your thoughts. Or here I go. I'm going to start in. I'm going to tell you my thoughts. So it's like I give them the quote, read it to them. Then I tell them my thoughts on the quote. And then I ask them for a discussion based on their thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Did you hear something different? We can all look at a quote and get something different out of it, or relate to a story personally out of it. What I did, I tried to talk about what I thought from it. This is a great way to start a discussion in your class. You could literally post one of these in your Google Classroom every day, have it auto post. You could spend 10 minutes and you could have it post every morning at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday for the whole week. And you have an assignment for them to do for 5 to 10 minutes every day, virtually or in class, that they know they need to do. And what they do is they can comment in classroom just for you guys. They listen to the video, they give their thoughts in the comments in the discussion, and then they reply to one person. I've actually got an example of what that looks like at tarveracademy.com/quote. If you go there, you can literally just copy paste. Hey students, do this, do this, do this. I gave you what to say. And then I've got a list of all these quotes. You can just copy the link and post it in there, okay? So use that. Let the conversation take its own form within your class, and let them reply and talk to each other about it. So if you don't want to do this for this, I've also got, if you're a math teacher, I've done this, bell ringers for math. I've got that on there as well. Go to tarveracademy.com and click bell ringers and click math. I've got problem of the days where I work through the problems. Other YouTubers have done this too. Find somebody that relates to what you want your students to learn about or talk about every day. Make it consistent, and then let them know they can go in. After like 2 or 3 days, they're gonna know what to do. They're gonna know it's coming. Some might look forward to it. I'm excited to learn this new quote. I'm excited to learn about this problem, and I wanna keep moving every day. So there you go. Now, guys, this may be the most important thing I talk about with community and building community with your students, your class, your teachers, anybody that you are working with virtually. This may be the most important thing. And I want to start with this. Stop calling real life, and online, online. Online is real life. It is real life. For some people, it is more real than the classroom. And you think, well, Tyler, face-to-face, that's the only way it's real. No, it's not. I'm sitting here talking to a camera in an empty room, in my empty office. But on the other end of this video, you are looking at me straight in the eyes. I'm talking to you individually. I'm talking to you face to face. For our students, for young people, and for most older people, this is just as real. They connect with this because someone's talking to them. If I'm talking to a class, I'm talking over their heads, or I'm looking around, I'm rotating around the room. I'm not talking to any, if you're, picture this. It'd be like you sitting there and staring at one student and talking to them the entire time. Is that student going to feel like you're talking to them? Yes, because you are. Whenever you do a video, you are talking to them. You need to make videos for your students. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to make a video. I don't like videos. It doesn't matter. Your students like videos, and you like connecting with your students and building rapport and building a relationship where they trust you and they know that you care about them. This is the best way to do that in a virtual environment. Okay? Now, you do not, I put my videos out on YouTube for everybody to see. You do not have to. Google, and I've got a link in there where you can do it directly in Classroom. It doesn't go to YouTube. You can record it with your phone. Yeah, I'm holding my hand up like it's a phone. I have a phone. I can record it with my phone. It goes directly into Classroom. It is only available to my students in my classes. Boom. You could also upload it to YouTube. Make it unlisted, which means you can only see it if you have the link. or you can put it on YouTube and make it public. And then you can give a link to your YouTube channel to parents or your supervisor so they can see announcements and updates for your students that you're doing every day. It is a great way to connect with your students. Make videos for it. So like if I've got a template in here later and we'll talk about like your flow of your day, but if I'm doing a class, I'm making videos for my students if I'm not meeting with them in person. And honestly, I should do it if I'm meeting with them in person as well. Start your day off, encourage them, give a story about something you're going through or you're doing or a way that you're growing in this time, in a way they can do the same. Encourage them. They're watching other YouTubers do it right now. They want to watch you do this, okay? Make a welcome video for the week or for the day. Give updates about yourself. They want to know you. Ask for updates on them. Tell them to give an update in the comments. You can do it right now. Hey guys, in the comments, if you would, tell me your favorite thing you did yesterday. Tell me what you did and why it was your favorite thing you did. I'm going to tell you mine. I went outside and I was just burning a bunch of leaves and it was just very peaceful. There you go. Something that easy, that simple, and you started a conversation. You should do this. I've also got links in on the best practices for making iPhone videos. So check that out. Go in there, do that, and check that link out. Link in the description. Now, schedule. I just told you I would tell you how to do this. Here's what I got. Here's an example schedule if you're working remotely, okay? It's just an idea, just throwing it out there. Do what you want. If you got any better ideas in the comments, give me your schedule. If you've already got a schedule, put it in there so maybe you can help another teacher, or maybe you post your schedule and a teacher's like, I did that, but I added this. They might help you from you giving them a resource, okay? Here's an example schedule for the day. 8 a.m., you do an announcement video. It's you filming with the phone and you just talking to your class. Hey guys, this is me, Mr. Tarver. I just want to encourage you today. You guys, you've got this. Some of you, I know you're getting tired of doing these classes like this. We'll do a video call later. You can stay on after. We'll talk about it. I want to encourage you to keep doing your best. What's your favorite thing you did yesterday? Tell me in the comments. My favorite thing I did was I played horse with my son out on our basketball court, and I loved it, okay? Upload the video. They watch that at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. You can have it scheduled to go out, okay? Then you go in and you go to tarveracademy.com/quote. You can go in, copy, paste your assignment, schedule that for the whole week at 8:15 a.m. Every day they know to go in and comment on the bell ringer, give their thoughts on the quote of the day, and reply to another student's. Then 8:30, this is it. You ready? At 8:30, that's when they go in and they learn the curriculum, okay? When I taught high school math, the first, 3 to 5 minutes, they were doing a bell ringer, and then from 5 minutes to 15 minutes in a class, the next 10 minutes, I'm helping them with the homework assignment from the day before. Here, I had trouble with this, Mr. Tarver. All right, let's work that problem. What else do you have trouble with? And I worked through what we did the day before. Then for the next 20 to 30 minutes, what I'm spending the bulk of my class doing is I'm teaching them the new topic. I'm teaching them about solving systems of linear inequalities. That's what I'm spending the next 30 minutes doing. You don't have to use class time for this, okay? Because they are the audience. They are passive in this. They are not interacting with you. They're not getting a ton out of this. I mean, they're learning, but it doesn't have to happen live because they're not asking you a ton of questions during this. You're really just throwing content at them and hoping they're taking notes. And I've tried this, so I've done this. I can attest to this. This is a great way for you to connect with your students with the content without using up valuable face-to-face time. You ready? Make a playlist of videos, anywhere from 1 video to 10 videos that they watch that morning, and it goes live at 8:30 a.m. And I'll show you. Here's one I created for my intermediate algebra class. It was on slope. They would go in. I posted the link. I went in, create a playlist, and I've got a video on how to create a playlist. Link in the bio. You go in, create the playlist, and they just watch through 8 videos. You tell them to take notes. Say, I'm taking up your notes later. You're going to take a picture with your phone or a screenshot, and you're going to upload it. That's your notes. That's how I held them accountable for doing notes. Okay. And they watch the videos. They start the first video and it just rolls through a playlist and they watch all those videos. And you know how much time because you can look at all the videos and see, okay, this one is 5 minutes, that's 4 minutes, that's 3 minutes. You can add it up. Boom, you've got the length of all the videos. That's what they do during this time. 8:30 to 10. For an hour and a half, they're just watching somebody deliver the content. Then from 10 to 11 or 10 to noon, whatever, that's when you meet in person. That's when you're answering questions. What questions did you guys have from those videos you watch? What questions do you have about slope? What questions do you have about this problem? Let's work one of them together. that's when you use the face-to-face time to work through. That's when you use the face-to-face time to work through the issues that they need to ask you specific questions. So many times as a math teacher, I would give them an assignment or do 1 through 10. They go home, 1 through 8 are fine, but they hit a snag on 9 because they didn't know, because it was like a little bit weird or different or worded things differently. That's what we'd spend time the next day on. That's what you're doing. That's that 5 to 15 minutes into class. That's what you're doing. Then what you can do is at 12 o'clock, that's when they're working on their homework. You can say, okay, guys, your assignment is to go out and pick one other student and you two collaborate on this, or I'm going to give you this assignment here. You're going to fill it in here. You're going to go out and you're going to film yourself making a video where you pretend to be Benjamin Franklin. Let them create. Let them do things. Let them get outside the house. They've been in the house since 8 a.m. doing your assignment. Let them go outside. Hey, go outside and paint something in chalk on your driveway. Whatever it is, let them make it. Take a picture of it. Do a video of it. Make a slideshow of it. Write a doc about it. Whatever. Let them do that and submit it as the assignment. And then you just let them know, hey, from 2 to 3 p.m., I'm going to be on our Google Meet through our Google Classroom. I'll just be there available if you need me to do anything. And you just sit there and check emails until a student bounces in, and then you answer their questions. And then they have a couple more hours after that to work on it if they couldn't do it from noon to 2. Okay? That's my example schedule. I think it's great. If you have a good idea or a good example schedule, please put it in the comments. I want to hear it. Link to it. Whatever. I want to see it. Because I love getting new ideas, and I know this is just an idea. This is just an idea for a template. It's not the end-all be-all. So there you go. Next, Google Forms. Google Forms, if you're not using them, you should be. They are incredible, okay? So I'm going to show you an example. You can create a Google form that everybody starts in the same place, and if they get it right, they keep moving along. If they get it wrong, they can be taken to remediation or more help, and then they can come back and join everybody else. And you can have 5 or 10 questions where they are, going through the assignment, and if they get it right, they keep going. If they get it wrong, they can get help. So, for instance, let's go. I got to fill this out. This is my intro page. List everything I know about Pythagorean theorem. Okay, triangles. I definitely didn't spell triangles right. I'm sorry. I was under pressure. Triangle. Hopefully they write more than that. Then you can have them watch the video. This is them working through the assignment. This could be your assignment you give at 8:30. You could just have them go through a Google form. I've done that before. So I go through, it's me teaching Pythagorean theorem. What's up? And then they answer a question. Which side is the hypotenuse? And we all know the answer is C. Boom, they get it right. They move on to a quiz, okay? Now, I'm gonna go backwards. Let's say they get it wrong. It takes them to a different page with more help, another video. I got a graphic, I got text, I've got a video, and they get it. So it's like, if they get it right, they keep moving on. If they get it wrong, they get more help, and then they come back. You as the teacher will be able to see that. This is so powerful because you're essentially differentiating the instruction based on how a student is doing in real time. And it's not as much work as you think. Don't think it's too much work. You go in, you make one of them with all those remedial help, then you can go in and make another one. You just make a copy of that, and that becomes your template. And you keep perfecting that template and changing it based on what the subject is. Students will go in, they pick the answers, then they hit next, and then those students are back with everyone else on the quiz, okay? Also, just a fun fact, this one's for free. I like to end every single assignment in a Google form with this question. It's like a scale question. How confident do you feel about what you just did? 1 to 10. Because we know sometimes the results on a quiz or a test don't always equate to their confidence level. Sometimes they're confident, they feel good, and they fail it. Other times they guess well, and boom, they get through it. So build a template, then duplicate it. Now, I want to give you this is a little cheat code, and it's for math teachers. This is how I got the example, but anybody can use this, okay? It is difficult to teach math online, and I'll tell you why. English teachers are like, well, it's just as hard to teach English online. Here's the deal. Every letter in English is on a keyboard. There ain't no square root sign on a keyboard, okay? So it's hard for us to even just type it up as a math teacher. So here's what that's not how you spell my name. That's close to the last name. Favorite pizza place, Blaze. That's just a fun question I added in on this quiz. This is an actual assignment I gave my students, okay? Now, we're going through multi-step equations. You're looking at the form, and you're thinking to yourself, Tyler, how much of my battery life? It doesn't matter. Let's keep going. Tyler, That looks a little bit like a dry erase board. You're right, it does. You're very perceptive and smart, and I'm going to show you why. So let's say I get this question correct. This means that 2, so it's got to be negative 3x squared. Boom. This is the correct answer. They get it right, they move on. There they go. Now, let's say they get a question wrong. I don't know if this is the right answer or not. I'm guessing it was right. Wow. Okay, let's say I need to guess wrong. Man, I'm too good of a guesser. Boom, I got this one wrong. Now, it looked like a dry erase board, and here's why. It was a screenshot of a dry erase board. Now, the reason I did that is because 1, it's hard to type those up on math, but 2, if a student gets it wrong, like I just got it wrong, what it does is it takes them to someone working, which I'm using my own videos, takes them to someone from YouTube working that exact problem that they can now work through. So I went in, I worked backwards. I was like, I want to work on multi-step equations. I went to YouTube, I went to my YouTube channel, I found a video where I was working multi-step equations, and what I did was I hit play on the video, and then I waited till I stepped out of the way, because I did these problem of the day, so I did it on purpose. But I stepped out of the way like this, and then I just screenshot that problem, and then I put that in front of the video for students to work. They work the exact problem. If they get it right, they move on. If they get it wrong, they're directed to the video of me working that problem. How many times as a teacher, math or any other subject, do you give an assignment and a student can't get through that one problem and they can't work it on their own because it's just so unique, and then they Google it or search YouTube for it, and all they can do is find similar stuff, but a lot of times they don't even know what to search. This takes them to that problem. If you're not hype about this, you're not doing life right. You got to get hype as a teacher when you can help a student specifically and individually. Then I have them watch the video and they walk through, because my students know they work out their problem step by step. They would watch this teacher work out the problem, and then they would have to list in here on line 2, I didn't bring down the 4 or the 3. Boom. And then they join everybody else in the equation. This is easy to do. Easy to do, guys. Y'all should do it. It's just a great hack, okay? So, those are my thoughts on Google Forms and how you can differentiate that for your classes, okay? Next, whenever you're delivering assignments in Google Classroom, you can make like the bell ringer. Say you do the quote of the day bell ringers that I have, and you want to apply that to all 7 of your classes. Even though they vary, quote of the day, it's a good way to get their mind rolling. It's only 5 minutes. It's a 2-point assignment, or it's not worth anything, whatever. It's just something they need to do every day. You can go in and you can actually select to send that to all of your classes at the same time, or all but one of your classes. This is something you can do in Google Classroom, and I've got it on the far right, specific classes. Or let's say you want to give, like, you know that you have 5 out of your 20 students that are falling behind on something, or they need more help, or they have a different way they like to learn. They like to listen to it instead of reading it. Okay, great. You can assign that specific assignment to just those 5 students by selecting in the right-hand side. You can go in and say which students you want to select for it to go to. Okay, so it's a great feature that Google has, and I've got videos on how to do that. Link in the bio or link in the description or whatever it's in. Quick tips. Forms, you can duplicate themselves in Classroom. If you're reposting an assignment that you, like say you create a Google form that's a test and you make it last year, then you want to reuse it this year. So you go in, you find that post because you labeled it well, you bring it in, and it's got that Google form attached to it. What it does is it'll ask you, do you want to create a duplicate or a new form of it? You say yes. That way, when they fill it out and all their answers come in, it doesn't filter in with last year's students. It's a brand new crop of students, okay? So duplicate themselves in there. If you're an admin, you can do district-wide or school-wide classrooms with all your students. You could do quote of the day with every student in the district just as a principal or as a superintendent. And then you could give your thoughts and have other students in the district give their thoughts. And if you're thinking, well, a student could write something inappropriate, okay, great. You could go in and address it. You find that student's comment, you screenshot it or save it or whatever. That becomes a discipline issue. It's the same thing as if you were in the auditorium, you had everybody there, and a kid yelled out something inappropriate. That's the same thing as them commenting, and it's a good way for them to learn in an environment where you can go in, screenshot it, handle it, and delete it, and that student can learn from it and not go out on the internet and be a troll on YouTube comments, because I see those too. You can run polls. It's a good way, like, hey students, how do you feel like your virtual classes are going? And you can assign that to every student in the district and get a real quick look at how students feel about online learning. You can do it for your class. How do you feel as a class we're doing online learning? And you can start asking for opinions and ideas. Let the students give you ideas. They know what they like. Let them tell you. And then obviously you don't have to listen to, I don't want to do any work. Be like, okay, well then graduate. So you can send emails. We talked about that. You can target people with assignments specifically. You can do the same thing with emails, and you can send out emails to specific students. It does so much more. If your school's not a Google school, just tell your superintendent to call me or give me their number. I'll call them and tell them that they're not being a very good leader because they're not doing this correctly. What up? Welcome back. Hey, Tyler here. How are you doing? How are you feeling? In the chat, let's do emoji check. And how are you feeling right now? Have you learned? Oh, no. To this point, what is something that you are going to try in your classroom or implement that you might not have wanted to, an hour or two ago? What is something you're wanting to implement in your classroom? Put that in the chat right now. I'd love to see it. I know the other people in the chat would love to see it. I know it'd be some great input. So throw that in the chat and then you can also copy paste and put in your notes just so you don't forget. Make sure everything you're doing, you're keeping notes of. Keep links to it, all of it, because I want you guys to be able to access and actually make your classroom better. I've sat through enough PDs in my life, professional development in my life, that I don't remember one thing from. I pray that you walk through this. I am hoping that you get something out of this training that you can take and use, once a day, once a week, once a year, once a decade, something that you use and implement, whether it's a mindset or a skill set or just any type of framework to build your classroom and make things better. Okay? Speaking of making things better, making ourselves better, I do want to give you, some thoughts on something that I offer, a community that we have at Tarver Academy that I think could add you a ton of value. It could help you get better all year. Because right now we're getting better with PD, with professional development. Hopefully you're getting better right now. This summer you're gonna hopefully glean some information, some knowledge, some experience, and you're gonna get a little bit better. I want us to get better all year. I want us to get better all throughout the year. And here's the thing with teachers. We do not have time to go sit through a 6-hour professional development once a week. So what I did was I created a community called Tarver Academy. And it was based on teachers telling me they wanted resources. They wanted a continuation of these trainings, of templates, of resources. They wanted to be handed to them, because if you go out and search for it, you're gonna find random stuff. They wanted stuff that could be applied to their classroom, that they can sit there, bite-sized professional development for busy teachers. That's Tarver Academy on a roll. And I would love for you to join if you want to. If you don't have to, don't pay for it. It's not very expensive at all, but I don't want you to have to pay for it. I would rather you use your district's professional development money. So if you want, have them go in, order that for you. Hey, here's the deal. Okay, let me be real with you. So you are signed up for the premium summer PD. Okay, either you signed up for it yourself, your principal, your administrator signed you up for it, or your district or your co-op. There were some amazing co-ops, districts that jumped in and realized that this could add value and flexibility, because they're offering 3 different sessions throughout the summer. You have flexibility to watch from home, or maybe you're watching with a group, maybe you're watching in your classroom, wherever you're watching from. They wanted you to add that value, and I wanted to give you a huge discount on the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. This is just for this summer, and it's just for the people that are on the premium watches, okay? And so the premium watches, the premium PD, okay? And so if you're watching this, you're here, you're on it, okay? So what you can do is you can sign up at tarveracademy.com/honor roll, and I want you to use this promo code. When you sign up, use this promo code. It's gonna cut in half. And it's one time for the full year, and it's gonna cut in half. Remember, use your district money if you can. So just write the promo code down, or put it in there and then get reimbursed, whatever you need to do. The promo code is premium, because you've signed up for the premium summer PD, and so I want to give you half off. So what that is essentially, you or your district or your co-op or your building paid for the summer PD, and so what it is, you get half off for these honor roll resources that come to you every week for the entire year. They essentially, it paid for half of this just because they signed you up for it or you signed up for it. So it's actually a better deal than if you just like straight up bought it. But you'll get access to these trainings anytime you want throughout the entire year, plus anything new. I'm gonna send you something every single week to help make you better in your classroom, because when you get better, your students get better. In the email every week, you're gonna get either a template, a resource, you're gonna get a short PD video, professional development, a training to show you how to do something you might not know how to do, or reinforce something you're maybe already trying. You're gonna get something that makes you better every week, plus some quick tips, links to some other things, and also you can ask me questions. I have a mailbag where you get to ask questions, and that's the list I'm gonna pick from first. I wanna help you guys. If I don't know how to do it, I'll do the research for you. I'll build it. You're like, oh, I really wish I had a digital interactive notebook. Guess what I'll do? I'll go in and I'll build digital interactive notebooks, and I'll give you the template. You don't have to pay teachers, pay teachers. You don't have to go in and throw the money at anything. I wanna just hand it to you, and I wanna do trainings for you to help you. So if you wanna join that community, I think it's super helpful, and it's essentially where I become the tech facilitator for you. It's Netflix for teacher resources, and I would love for you to join and jump on that. So if you want, go there. It's tarveracademy.com/honor-roll, and you can sign up for that. And I think it's just going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge help to teachers throughout the year who have a lot going on and not a lot of time, extra time to go out and do it. It's like as teachers, they always give you more stuff to do, but they don't give you like, oh, here's like an extra 3 hours a day to go out and do whatever it is you're gonna do. So if you wanna sign up for that, you can. I hope you've used this time also to use the restroom. So if you're just getting back using the restroom, guess what? We've just been talking about Tarver Academy Honor Roll. No big deal. But I'm gonna give you guys time to go do that and get a snack if you need it. Whatever you need to do, we're about to kick back into, we're about to jump back in it. We're gonna fall back into the gap, fall into the gap. Man, do y'all remember that? That was a good campaign. That was memorable. Wasn't it? Memorable? Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're about to get started. We'll get started here very soon, and we're gonna jump back in, we're gonna keep learning. All right, let's do it. Let's go. We're still doing this. In the chat, here we go. In the chat, I want you to tell me the name. Okay, don't say that. I was gonna say, tell me the name of, you know what? You can do that. Tell me the name of a teacher who made an impact on you and what they did. Why did they have an impact on you? In the chat, what name of a teacher or an educator that had an impact on you and what they did to have an impact. It was either the way they treated you, the way they ran their class, or the way they inspired you, or just the way they had structure maybe. They were reliable, they were consistent. I would love to hear in the chat, name of a teacher that motivated you as a student or as another teacher and what they did. So let's throw that in the chat, and we're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it. We're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it like a pogo stick. See that? See what I did there? Nope. Okay, all right, let's get going. All right, making some progress. We are moving right along. I hope that first session, that was a little bit, I know you got a little break in there, but it was quite a bit to go through and learn. So I think we're gonna break it up. This portion, and we're gonna do a short segment. We're actually this is a practical work through. I want you to get a device out, either minimize my screen and maybe you can switch back and forth. You can listen to me and you can work in another window. I want you to go in, we're gonna create Google Forms using Canva, Google Forms. We're gonna create Google Form headers using Canva, and I'm gonna walk you through the whole process. So I want you to make with me. Don't just sit there and watch me. I want you to create with me. This is a create with me session. So open a new tab. Don't delete this one, but open a new tab and let's learn together. All right, let's go. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler here, and I wanted to walk you through how to create your own Google Form headers for your classes or for your resources, for your school, anything you're wanting to do. A great option for this, if you are doing it for like an entire district, you can create some really cool headers, and it would be a good way to brand your district across all of your classrooms. You can put it in as a template and then share it with your teachers, your students. Everybody can use that to, show that you're all part of the same organization. You can even put like procedures in your header for what you want students to do. If you're a teacher creating it, you could put the name of your class and then, hey, don't forget these procedures, bam, 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 or your values or pretty much anything. The possibilities are limitless. So right here, you can see this is one that I have. It's the same header I think I have for my YouTube channel. On YouTube, they call it your cover art, thumbnail art. Nope, cover art. Thumbnails are the videos. Cover art is what they call it on your YouTube page. But this is what we've got. So this is the This is my header. And to insert that, all you would do, because traditionally they come like this, like that looks like a traditional Google form. Bam, adds a little bit of spice to it. So to add that in there, all you got to do is you go to customize theme, and this is where you would upload that header. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I want to walk you through how to create a header for your Google Forms. Okay, so there's a couple different places. By the way, if you want this classroom discipline form, I have a copy if you want. Just go to this website right here, tarveracademy.com/resources. Sometimes I sing, but now I am done singing. So sorry. Okay, so sometimes I get off and I just let the music take over. So whenever you're creating these, you have a couple different options, a couple different places you can make it. I have one that I always recommend for anything design, graphic, anything like that, and it's Canva. Canva is by far my favorite. I used Adobe Spark for several years. It was great. I've done Photoshop. I've used Illustrator. I've used a ton of different options for creating graphic designs. Canva is by far the easiest. Now, I'm not trying. Here's the difference. If I like my buddy Steven, he's an amazing graphic designer. He did the design for my book. See that cover right there? This little chicken nugget cover for my book. He did that, and he is incredible. And he would frown upon me advising you to use anything but Adobe Illustrator. However, a lot of us don't have the time to become as fluent as him in creating with Illustrator. Canva is the easiest way to create something that looks good. You're going to get to if 100% is like something my buddy Steven could make, you're going to get to 80 to 91% very easily for a lot less work. And so I use it because I keep creating stuff and I need to get stuff out quickly. So I recommend Canva. Go to bit.ly/Tarver Canva. Get you an account. They have a free account, they have education accounts, and then they have paid accounts. So pick whichever one is best for you. If you do the education account, it opens up more templates and resources that you can use. And then you go beyond that and do a paid account. I think it's $100 a year, give or take $10, and you get even more. So the end. Okay, I don't work for Canva, but I do like to brag about stuff I think is useful and helpful and makes people's lives easier. So let's go in and we're going to create. So I'm going to go to canva.com. Loading up. Okay, now Google has the best search, ever. You search Google, you can search Google Photos, all that. It's an amazing search. Canva search, if they had a browser, I might use it. It's incredible how good Canva search is. Okay, so here, the first thing you need to do, and whenever you're creating a resource, you're creating a template or a header, anything like that, you've got to think through what are the dimensions I need. Because you can make I could go in here and I could be like, oh, I want to create this cool design, blah, blah, blah. It might not fit. It might not fit with the dimensions of what you're trying to create. So this is how I do it. And I've got the tab up here from when I did it earlier. I just type in, whatever it is I'm trying to make, Google Forms header dimensions. Hit enter, and then you look and find the dimensions. So we're looking for a 1600 by 400. You see this? 1600 by 400. That way you're creating what you need to create. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Now, here's the deal. Canva, they have a lot of really good ones. So I could search Google Classroom headers. And I'm pretty sure they have templates that are exactly made for these dimensions. They do. See this? Bam. Check out that little chicken nugget. Now, here's the deal. I don't want those dimensions. I want different dimensions. They don't have a Google Form header. I've already checked. Canva, you get on that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Google Classroom header, and then I'm going to adjust the dimensions to make it what I want. So let's look through here. Ooh, this one's pretty cool. So I'm going to pick, these are just templates you can start from. You can start from scratch, or you can, go up here and create a blank one. I'm going to go to this one. I think it's pretty clean. I always like to start from something. So I'm going to click this, and it's going to essentially generate a copy of that I can edit. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit this. But the first thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to do all this work and then change the dimensions and then go back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to up here in the upper left. I'm going to go to resize. Okay, this is great. So let's say you make a graphic and it's a square and you want to put it on Instagram. Great. You make it, boom. And then you're like, you know what? I want to put this on as the thumbnail for the YouTube video. You can go to resize and it'll automatically adjust it And then you can like make any changes you need to, and it'll adjust it for a YouTube thumbnail. And then you can go in and make it an Instagram story, and you can change it to that. Just hit resize. That's your go-to. All right. And I'm going to show you some options on that. So resize is right there in the upper left. This is cool. It's fine. We're going to do something with it. I'm going to go to resize. And then I'm going to go to, so a lot of times you can search and find like, common ones that you're doing. I want to go in and just put in this custom height. It's 1600 by, what do we say, 400 by 400 pixels. Okay. Now here's where you have an option. Okay. I can either hit resize, which means it's going to take what I just created and it's going to change it to the correct size, or I can hit copy and resize. So let's say you make that Instagram graphic and then you want to make the YouTube thumbnail and you want to make an Instagram story out of it. You might want to keep that original Instagram one. So what you would do is you would hit copy and resize. This one, I'm just going off of this like one graphic that I've created. So I'm just going to hit resize and I'm going to change the size of this actual file that I'm still in. Okay. So we've changed it. This is the exact dimensions now of this that'll be shown. Okay. So if not, I would have to crop if I didn't have the right dimensions. So I'm going to change it. I can call this, Mr. Tarver's class. Okay. And so I'm just going to adjust these, kind of making that text pop out. I can do underneath it. I can do anything I want. I can put stuff. Look at that little robot. That's a friendly little robot. Okay. This little robot looks dangerous. I'm going to get rid of him. So you can just click on anything you want and delete it. I like this one's little rubbery arm. So I'm going to keep that little guy. And this one looks like he's using the force. So it's like that little robot's using the force. And I like that. Okay. Now we can change colors in here. So like, let's say I want to change this background color. All I do is I click on, let me move this. I'm going to click right here. And then I can go up here to this color and change that. Change that background color. I can make it red. I can make it navy. I can choose any color that my heart desires. And then I could click this navy part. These are overlays. So I could go here. I can click this and I can change that navy. Oh, that's not what I want. There it is. Okay. Changing that blob. Going to make this change. Boom. See, look at those. Wow. This is so beautiful. I mean, I don't want to say I've improved it, but I mean, it kind of did, right? So I'm going to hover over it. Anytime you hover over an item, it's going to highlight the box. I'm not clicking anything. I'm just hovering over it with my cursor. I can change this, click on it. Now I have the option to change my font. So I can click this. I can go to, let's go Knockout. That's the cover my book font. I can choose this and I can change the font color. We can go navy. Bam, look at this. Okay, do I need this one? I'm leaving this because I want to do something with that. I want to show y'all later. Remember, I'm keeping in mind, this is for my class. And so I want to do stuff that I know they're going to see at the top of Google Form anytime they go in there. So those robots is chilling. I could, if I wanted, I'm going to show you one of the coolest features in Google Forms. Actually, let's do this first. So I want to show you, if I'm thinking through what do I want to do with a Google Form, what would be most beneficial for me as a teacher, and that's to have instructions. Okay. So like, let's say that I was making a test. This is going to be the form for my tests. I could put procedures up here. That's really large. So I'm going to, sorry, my kid's yelling. So I could change this font size to that. Okay. And then I could say step 1, make sure you're logged into your school email account. There we go. Now, right now I'm centered. Actually, no, I'm not. So there we go. Look at that. So I'm adding instructions. These are going to be able to be seen right here at the top of every Google form that students do. Like, yeah, you can do it to where it just looks cool and it's just like cool branding for it. But you could also put your values like, hey, we don't cheat. Make sure you're not cheating. And then you can include what that is, phoning a friend, Googling, etc. Okay. 3. Oh, by the way, did y'all see that Google Forms has added the feature where it gives you 30 days? You could save a Google form and come back and work on it later. That's huge for teachers. Because you had to like create a test that could be done in one class period because there was no extra time you could have. 3, we can say make sure you submit. Hit me up, HMU. Hit me up if you have any questions. Okay. Let's do this class. I can call it Mr. Tarver's class, test procedures. Boom, I could change that title up. Look at this. And I could change these robots. If you wanted to, I could, let's see. Let's make this bigger, okay? So I have more room to play here, so let's make this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to click over here on this little edge, this upper right-hand corner. I'm just going to drag. It's going to automatically make that larger for me. You're logged into your school account. Make sure you're not cheating, phoning a friend, Googling, etc. That overlay, there we go. Okay. I'm going to delete this little guy. He looks, actually, yeah, let's delete the little guy. He looks dangerous. I don't need that. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we're going to export this. So what I'm going to do is I want to go over here to uploads because I want to insert a photo. So let's find a photo that I've created. I could have Martin Luther King Jr. He's cool. I like him. Do Beyonce. Let's do this. We could add me. I could add myself screaming. I guess that'd be weird to have my kids. So I'm going to add myself screaming. So I add this photo in here. Okay. I just click it and it adds it in. Now what I can do is this is just like one of the best features ever. You ready? I'm going to make it a little bit larger. My hair. I'm going to cut my hair off because it looks ratchet. Okay. Hey, I'm wearing the same. Look at that. Wow. It's a special day. Okay. So I've got the photo. Click on the photo. And then in the upper left, go to edit. Now, there is a feature right here called background remover. Watch what happens when I click that. It is going to take the background out of my photo and just leave me as the photo. This is awesome. Apple has this. It's called like alpha something. I think is what they call it. But there we go. Now I could be in the photo. So if I can move the robot. I can make him move over here. I want to change him. Look, there we go. I'm a little robot. Look at that. These are my test procedures. I can put myself here. Look at that. You can insert yourself into there. How cool is that? If you have a classroom mascot or logo, or say you got like a pet iguana for your class, you can put that in there. But I've got me looking super frazzled. So that's the idea. That's what you can do for your tests. That's what you can do for your assignments, your homework assignments, give instructions, all of it. You can do it to brand your school, your classroom. You could have students make them, and you could alternate through the ones that your students made. Just a really fun little thing you could add in your classes. This would work for anything else you're creating. You could search the same thing in Canva and create through there. Same for Google Classroom headers. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click on download. You'll see that download. Hit download. And then I want to roll into, I could do PNG file. It saves you a little bit of room as opposed to a JPEG, but you can click here and change those. We're just going to go PNG. Hit download. It's going to download it to my computer. Now I'm just going to go to my Google form. That's not the one I want to use. Let's go and create a new form. So let's go to Drive. Go into my Google Drive. I'm going to find my Google form. Go to resources. This is the part of the song where we're biding time till the thing gets done uploading. Here we go. Okay, so we're on Google Forms. So now I'm going to go to New, hit New, and I'm going to hit New Google Form. There we go. Took me a second. We're going to create it and share it because we love sharing. Sharing is caring. Okay, so I've got my Google form. Now I want to insert the header that I just created into this form. So I'm going to go to right here. Do you see this little Bob Ross? This little guy? Don't worry about this little guy. I'm just going to put this right here. We're going to click on that, and we're going to go to choose image. Now, I could upload it. I can search the themes they have. I can go to my photos. I want to go to upload, and then I'm just going to click and drag what I just downloaded in there. I could also hit browse and find it. It's set up perfectly because I changed my dimensions to 1600 by 400. I'm going to hit done. It is going to insert that into my Google form. Look at that. That is clean. That looks clean. Wow. You should create these for like homework tests, all of it. That would be incredible. That would be so incredible. Man, that is the coolest thing ever, you know, when you think about it. So, okay, that's what I got. Thank you, guys. Go out and create yours. Create your own. Do your best. I'm done talking. That's Nacho Libre. Okay, bye, y'all. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are hopefully having a great day. I hope this is a good session. I hope you've gotten the chance to create some stuff, see some stuff. I introduced you to some things earlier, some bell ringers that you can do and some videos, quote of the day videos. I want to spend a little bit more time on that because I think it can be super helpful for you in your classroom. And so we're going to actually work through a session where we're going to actually put bell ringers in. So I want you to do this with me. Put these bell ringers in. You can use mine as a template, but then you can go in and find your own. And you can insert those into Google Classroom. It serves multiple purposes, you know, attendance. It serves getting the discussion started. There's so many positives to finding something that works for you as a virtual bell ringer. And so we're going to talk through that. Then there's going to be a short break. And then I'm going to roll into some Q&A and answer some questions that people submitted. And so I hope you get some help out of this. I hope it adds you value. And let's get going. Okay, so we're talking about bell ringers. How many of you guys do bell ringers in your classes? What a bell ringer is whenever you have something. Traditionally, I had mine written on my dry erase board. This is a shelf, but let's pretend I'm teaching in front of my class. I taught high school math. I had a dry erase board, and in the upper right-hand corner, it said bell ringer. And underneath it, if I was teaching geometry, I would just have, you know, the question that I was going to ask them. So it was like, you know, solve for x if x equals, you know, 2 plus 8, which x is 10. Okay, so that was an easy question. But I would try to have an equation. Usually what I did was I would go pull from the ACT, like the released items. That way my students were getting the chance to, they're getting the chance to go through and work out problems that they'll see on what I deemed the most important test of their high school career, which is the ACT. And so a lot of times that was stuff that they had learned previously, either in my class or in another class, or stuff that they were going to learn. So I would even put stuff up there that maybe they weren't familiar with, but I wanted them to give it a shot. And this is pre-one-to-one Chromebooks. So now you could actually tell them like, hey, you can Google it, go search for it. Like you can have a little bit more, you have a little bit more freedom with regards to how they look for their own stuff. Now, why did we do bell ringers? Why did I do bell ringers as an educator? Well, one, my boss told me to. And number two, you do bell ringers a lot of times because you're trying to do administrative stuff when class starts. In the chat, let me know in the chat if you have ever forgot to send in your absentee stuff at the beginning of a class period. I saw a TikTok yesterday where somebody was like, they were like voicing over a song who was saying not once, not twice, not 50, not 100, probably around 500. And that's just the thing. Like you have to send in all of the absentees at the beginning of each class period. And then if you had a student that missed class the day before, then you have to go and you got to find, oh, here's the assignment. And then I go hand it to the little Robbie who missed yesterday for no reason at all. And while these students are doing this bell ringer, I'm handing little Robbie his assignment and I'm asking him to, I'm asking him to learn this while I explain it to him in like 2 minutes. Like, hey man, here, let me summarize yesterday's 45-minute lesson in 2 minutes. Or I just tell him where to go to get the resource. I'm like, hey, just Google it, man. We got to move on. So that's kind of the reason we did it. Okay, we got people jumping in. We got people in the chat. Hey, Lisa Houston, she's drinking water, staying, they say drinking water in the morning is like running, is the equivalent to running like a 5K to get your day started and how it wakes you up. We got Nancy.
from Alabama going creamer and a little coffee. That's pretty much how I do my coffee. I go to Starbucks, like, give me extra cream and then put some coffee in there. I'm with you, Nancy. We got Angela coming in from Bryant, drinking a Dr. Pepper. Man, I haven't had carbonated drinks in so long. If I did that, I don't know. I'd just be like, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I don't know. I probably, my body couldn't handle it. Kelly with Springdale with a hot black tea. Oh, that sounds peaceful. That sounds super chill. Tammy got water coming in from Memphis. Rodney drinking nothing. Rodney just said good, but Rodney, it's good to see you, bro. Judy's drinking water from Southside, staying healthy. I like it. Heather is doing Arkansas, doing the Zen green tea again, killing it. I love it. I need to try it. I need to start mixing it up because I'm always like, I'm doing coffee today. I need to start mixing it up. Tammy Gilmore with the Diet Dr. Pepper from Southside. Tammy, I know. We hung out. Remember that day we hung out at that PD? It was great. And then, sup to Android, what's up? We got Leslie coming in from Hot Springs, Mountain Pine High School. Always forget to do attendance. Me too, Leslie. I was so bad. I was just like, looks like everybody's here. They'll let me know if I messed up. And meanwhile, little Johnny's roaming the campus. Mountain Pine, we used to play them play against them in basketball and track. They had a really good track team too. Tammy, of course, catching up at the end of the day. That's where I am. Absentees, catching up at the end of the day. Rodney's coming in from Asia and it's the middle of the night. Man, I love your dedication, bro. Love it. Okay, Heather asked, this is a good question before we get started. Heather asked, hey, Tyler, my chat is at the bottom of my screen. How do I get it back to where I can see you and it at the same time? You can go to youtube.com. Okay. Y'all want to do Inception? I'm going to go to this actual live video. Let's see if this goes. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. We are getting to bell ringers. If you're watching this later and you're like, I don't want to learn the thing you're teaching now, I want to learn this. First off, change your voice. That's not very nice. And second off, you can just go to you can just scrub ahead because that's the beauty of online video. You can just skip ahead. Lori coming in with the cold brew. I like it. Nitro cold brew. Oh my goodness. Now I can hear myself. Oh my goodness. The audio is not going to work for me. Hey, look, let's hit this like button. See if we can get it up to 10. Can we get this up to 10? I'm going to hit the like button on my own video. Okay, so Heather asked, she said, hey, Tyler, the chat is at the bottom of the screen. I see that. I'm assuming it looks something like this, okay? So what you can do, look over here in the bottom right. Oh, I need to make it to where you can see my YouTube screen bigger. Sorry. There you go. That better? So over in the bottom right, these are your sizings for your YouTube video. So what you can do is you can click on this and it should switch you back to where you can see your chat on this side. That's awesome. Okay. I think my computer's running slow because I'm running video on top of my video. My computer's like, we're trying our best to make your video clean and not break up. And I'm like, hey, try doing my video while running the video at the same time. Okay. So let's talk bell ringer. Deanna, is that Deanna? Am I saying it right? If not, you can correct me. I want to be right. Hot tea with lemon from Hot Springs. I'm a 3-wing 2 on the Enneagram, so it means I want to be right, but I also want to help you. So there you go, 3-wing 2s. Okay, anybody in here Enneagram? If you're an Enneagram, if you've done that before, throw in your number. I'd love to know. We should do. I started a series called Enneagrams for Educators on how to work with other educators of different Enneagrams and then also how to work with students of different Enneagrams. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. I might throw that into one of these because these are a lot more feasible for me to do than just filming out and editing a bunch of videos. That just takes a long time. So I can do these and just chat with you guys. Okay? So we're talking about bell ringers today. Now, like I said, traditionally, I would write my bell ringer on the board and the students would have a section of their notebook where they wrote out their bell ringers. And then I would check that during the notebook check and make sure that they, had done what I asked them to do every day. I want this to be useful for you when you're in person, but also useful for you when you're virtual. So I'm going to walk through the process of how to do that, how to find a bell ringer and schedule a bell ringer. And then I'm going to talk to you about the differences between what this looks like in person and what this looks like in virtual. Okay, so First thing we need to do is we need to find some bell ringer videos. Now, I think I said it in the description, if you saw this on one of the Facebook groups, is that I actually have some resources for this. And so I'm going to use those resources now. Now, you do not have to use my resources. Okay, you don't have to. It's just they're there and they're free and you can have them. I made them. Now, do I want you to use them selfishly? Yes, I do, because I spent a lot of time making them and I want people to use them. That's the point of why I make resources for people, is I want them to use them. However, you need to find the resource that works best for you. So this is worth, a couple hours of searching if that's what it takes. And I will show you guys at the end how to search and find some different places to get bell ringers, but we're going to use mine because they're easy and they're there. So I am in my Google. Oh goodness. There you go. Stay there, little buddy. Okay, so let's make this bigger so you can see it. Okay, so we got a couple Enneagrams in here. Angela, she's an Enneagram 2. I'm a wing 2, so I want to help people too. Nancy, she's an 8. Nancy's an 8. My wife, she's actually an 8, and one of my bosses is an 8. So I work with 8s a lot. 8s can change the world. That's for sure. That is faux show. Okay, so we are in here. I'm in my Google Classroom. I want to create, I'm going to go into this class and I want to create, got it, class code. I want to create an assignment and I want it to be a bell ringer. All right. Now, you can set this up this way for in-person or virtual. So right now we're kind of handling both of those. All right. So let's go in. I'm going to click create assignment. Now, why am I making an assignment and not just a announcement? Is because if you make it an assignment, you can attach points to it, which means that students will think it is more required. They think announcements are more suggestions, and coursework is actually like it's something that they're going to take more serious. Okay, so here's how I recommend titling it. Okay, you're going to title it. I would say bell ringer. I would probably put the week first. Week 1, Monday, bell ringer. You don't have to get specific. Some people want to get specific on like, hey, this is what I'm talking about today, or here's what the video is about. Don't do that, okay? It is a bell ringer. It falls in this category where students know what's expected of them during that time. So, how usually I tell you to be very descriptive in what you're doing so that students have clarity. Once you build the habit after 2 to 3 days, maybe 2 weeks at the most, of getting them to do their bell ringers every single day at a certain time, then you're going to see that you don't have to be as like, this is exactly what the video is about. You can just go in and, title it this way. Here's why I also title it this way. Week 1, Monday, bell ringer, is because a bell ringer happens every single day. You should be doing that every single day in all your classes. Whenever you go back next year, you don't have to create all these bell ringers and all these posts. All you're doing next year is you're clicking reuse post, and then you can go grab it. And then you'll know what week of school you're in and then what day of the week it's going to be that you want to post it. So it's a lot easier for you next year if you're organized in how you label this stuff this year. Okay? So now let's go get our bell ringer. All right. Now I'm going to use the ones I have because they're free and I think they're good resources. So we're going to go to tarveracademy.com. I'm going to put that in the banner. So create banner. Let's call it, say, Tarver Academy. So you guys know where I am. Always keep them clear. I can't spell academy. Academy. I should know how to spell I know how to spell it. Okay. Add banner. Okay. So I'm going to add this on here. Okay. So I'm on tarveracademy.com and I'm going to go to bell ringers. Again, you don't have to use mine. I have free ones, so you can use them if you want. So I'm going to go up here to bell ringers at the top. All right. I'm going to use, if you're a math teacher, oh my goodness, I've got math bell ringers and I'll show you those in a second, but I'm going to use the one that I think you could use pretty much any grade level, is quote of the day. So what I did was I took famous quotes from different people in history, different notable figures, and I made anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes is what most of them are. I think the most is like 3 to 4 minutes of any video, but it's less than 5 minutes. Every single one's less than 5 minutes. I take a famous quote and I say, hey guys, welcome to Tarver Academy. Today's quote of the day is, the time is always right to do, I'm sorry, I would say it like this. Today's quote of the day is by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the quote. I would love to hear your thoughts on the quote. And then I say the quote, the time is always right to do what is right. To me, that means this, this, and this. Okay, and then I said, at the end of me explaining what I thought out of it, I say, okay, that's what I think, but I care more about what you think. So in the discussion of your teacher's Google Classroom or in the comments of this YouTube video, please tell me what you think about this quote, what it means to you, and then reply to one of your classmates. Remember to keep it kind. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys later. Never stop learning. And that's the gist of most of these videos. I think all of the early ones, I was trying to still fill it out, but that's the flow of all of them. So the idea is, sorry, my kids are yelling. So the idea is that I lay out a famous quote, I tell you what I think about it, but then I ask for their thoughts on it. And that's the point of that, is just start a discussion, get their brains thinking. I said earlier that bell ringers serve the purpose of me being able to handle administrative stuff in my classroom while I like taking roll and things like that. Now, what it does in a virtual environment is it gets the students talking. It gets discussion started. Earlier, whenever I started this, I was like, hey guys, tell me what you're drinking and where you're watching from. I said, say that in the chat. I did that to get the conversation started with you guys. One, I do care and I want to know, but also it's to get the conversation started. So whenever you are, teaching virtually, one of the big things that you're going to struggle with is trying to keep your students to where they're engaged and they're not ghosting you, where they're disappearing because they're hidden behind a screen and they don't think you see them. This is a good way for them to start the day off with discussion, because I'm assuming you're going to meet or talk throughout the day and you want them to be active in the conversation, either in the chat or in the Google Meet live video. Okay. So we're at tarveracademy.com and we're at the bell ringers. I've clicked on bell ringers. I've actually got an example quote for you to use. So you don't have to, so I'm going to copy this, Command C or Control C, depending on which computer you're on. And then I'm going to paste it in here. Hello class, watch today's video for quote of the day. And in the comments of this post, give your thoughts on the quote and how it applies to you. Do you agree or disagree with Tyler? Okay, that's okay. Teach them it's okay for you to disagree in a respectful way. We want to curate that debate, that discussion, but they're going to have to be involved. And that's the thing. If they're going to disagree, they have to understand and know why they disagree with whatever I said on it, okay, about what the quote means. Make sure to reply to at least one classmate, which I think is good because it creates discussion among classmates. And that's the other thing, guys. You're going to be struggling not only with getting them to talk and be seen in this virtual environment, but also you're going to be struggling with building community. That's one of the big things that teachers I'm talking to are struggling with, is they're thinking, how am I going to build community in an online environment? You do that through consistent things that they know, and you need to create discussion. They talk to each other, because for them, talking to each other online is the same as talking in real life. And I would assume it's probably the same as real life for you too. And if you don't believe me, think of the last mean Facebook comment you got and how much it hurt you. It means something to us there too. So keep it kind in the comments. Now I need to attach a video. So I'm going to click add. And I could do a link, but I'm going to always recommend a YouTube video because it's going to look better on the student's end. So I'm going to click YouTube video. Now, from here, I could just search like, Tarver quote of the day. And so this could be a way, if you're just finding videos every day just from YouTube, you could just search YouTube directly from Classroom. If you're going to be consistent about bell ringers, I would not recommend this, because after like 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to start forgetting what you've already selected, and you might accidentally throw in the same bell ringer that you did before, which might not be a bad idea. Here, if I click up here, I can go to URL. Okay, so I told you guys, I laid this out for you. I've got bell ringers for you for the entire year. Okay, so you can just go to my website, click on this, and you can get this. Okay, I grab the link. There's a Star Trek commercial. I want to grab this link. I'm going to copy it. Go back over here to my classroom. I'm going to paste that into the URL. Now, if I do it this way, that means that I can work my way down the list and not have to go find random videos every day. I can just work my way down the list of videos. And if say I want to skip, let's see, Ben Brown. Let's say you see this and you're like, you know what? I want to skip this one. I don't want no YouTuber talking to my students. Well, guess what? You just skip it because I'm making extras. So I'll have more than 180. I'm going to go in and make some extras for you guys as well. So you could skip a few if you want. Don't skip like 100 because I don't have 100 extra, but I'll have a bunch. So there you go. You would work your way down the list. You know, another way to do it would be just say, if you don't want to do the work, you say, hey, students, here's the link to tarveracademy.com/quote. You could put that in there, and then you could just tell them to go to number 6, go to number 7, go to number 8. Yes. Okay. Kelly asked, show me again where you got the link. Okay. I went to add, YouTube, and then I'm going to go to URL. Good morning, Mary. It's good to see you. I'm very excited to see you here today. So I'm going to click on, this is tarveracademy.com/quote. This is my quote of the day, bell ringers. Then you pick a video. Okay. Now I've clicked on the video. I can select up here, and then I can hit, like, it's up here in the address, the search bar, Omnibox, whatever you want to call it. Control C is where you, select the whole thing. Control C, I copy it. Oops, didn't mean to click on that. Okay. Control C is copy, and then paste. Okay. And then you click add, and that's how you would add it. Now I've got 2, so I need to delete one. I want to show you guys another trick. Okay. So let's say you're on here and you don't want to like click on it and go to it. You can actually just right click on the link and go to copy link address. And that way you don't have to click, go to YouTube, copy the link. You can just right click, copy link address. Okay. So then you paste it over here. All right. I'm about to go through my settings over here on the right side, but I want to answer a couple questions. Kelly, I hope I answered your question on how to do that. If not, let me know and I can go through it again. I think right click actually will save you guys some time. So right click, copy link address. Oh, Kelly got it. She's like, Tyler, I don't need you to say it again. No. Julie said, can students do a bell ringer in Google Forms while they are in Google Meet? Yes, they can. It just depends on their screen. And so a student can be in a Google Meet in one tab, and then they can open up another tab over here. And so it depends. So I'm assuming, Julie, that you're saying, can they do it through their Google Classroom while they're in Google Meet? Or no, you're saying in a Google form. So you could send them the form and you could have them fill it out there and then hit submit. And that would be, how you record it, which is totally fine. I would probably do Google Classroom because you're not doing multiple questions. Now, if you built an assignment out for the day in a Google form, you could do a bell ringer at the beginning that they go through, and then it rolls into the rest of their assignment. It's just, if it's only one thing you're wanting them to do, then I would just do it in Classroom, because forms are better if it's more like you're doing a bunch of stuff or you have multiple things to do. So boom, just put that dude in timeout for saying something not nice. So whenever, do you guys know you could do that in YouTube? If you're doing a live video, you can put users in timeout if they say something you don't want. So fun fact. All right. Was there something else I was going to show you guys? I feel like was there? I don't think so. So, okay. So let's go back to here. Okay. Now I'm about to post this bell ringer. Okay. I can pick which class I want it to go out to, and I can pick multiple classes at once. Then I could also choose particular students if I would like. Points, I probably would make it worth 100 points. I'd make it worth 5 points. Okay. Due date. Now, this is if I'm going, say I'm making it live right now at 8:30. I could go in and make the due date today at, 8:45 a.m. So whenever I sign it, I can make it due like 15 minutes later. You don't have to give students a full day or 2 days to do these assignments. Actually, what I recommend, if you're doing virtual, I would recommend scheduling this Like you could do these the week before. You hit schedule. You can make it, I want it to go live tomorrow at 8 a.m. Okay, well, I got to change the due date because I have my due date. Sorry, click this. Let me get rid of that. Let's make the due date tomorrow. Okay, so I can schedule it for 8 a.m. tomorrow. So I could have this bell ringer. Oh, crud, I hit schedule. I wanted to show you more. I'm gonna have to go in. I'm gonna edit this. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay, so I've got it scheduled for tomorrow at 8 a.m. All right, my students know to get on Google Classroom at 8 a.m. every morning to start class. So then what I can do is I can make the due date that Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. You don't have to give them all day to do these assignments. I want you to do this bell ringer within the first 15 minutes of class or the first 30 minutes of class. If you're early education and they're with you all day, you could make this the first 15 minutes of class as they're doing this bell ringer. And then you could say, okay, at 8:30, I need you to watch these YouTube videos. What that allows you to do is it's a way to virtually take roll for your classes. So when you guys went remote back in March, April, whatever, when you did that, did you ever have a day where a student didn't do anything they're supposed to that day and you didn't find out till the next day or maybe even the next week? With this, what you can do is you can actually go in and see, okay, you can have a checklist or a Google Sheet, however you want to do it. And if students are going in and doing this, they're not conversing with you. It frees you up to go in and take roll. You can mark their names down and be like, okay, Johnny check, Sally check. You go through and you're just checking them off. And you're like, okay, I've got 4 students who haven't done their bell ringer and it just ended. So I could email them right there and notify them. Then I could call their parents and be like, hey, little Johnny hasn't checked in today. Can you make sure that they're signed in? They start their bell ringer and then we're about to start class in like 20 minutes. You could even assign them to watch like a YouTube video. If you do like a flipped classroom model, you could assign them to watch a YouTube video for a playlist for like 30 or 45 minutes, and it gives you that time to do those assignments, or that time to call students and parents to get them on that. Mary said a good thing. She said, and this is legit, this happens. She said, I can hear it now from the students who are virtual, but I was asleep. My mom didn't wake me up. My internet wasn't working. Look, here's the deal. School, you have internet, and if not, I'm assuming your school's working out something for hotspots, something like that. If that's the case, you can allow them to do it anytime throughout the day. That gives their parents time to drive them up to the school and sit next to a hotspot, or they can go to Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or whatever has Wi-Fi. But also, guys, this is going to be big for virtual. You can't give them all day to disappear. They need to be checked in as soon as the day starts, because then if they check out, they're making up for 2 days at once. And we know the students that skip usually can't handle 2 days or 2 weeks at one time. So what I recommend, this is my Tyler's recommendation from running a virtual school. I recommend as soon as you find out that student hasn't checked in at 8:30 because they haven't done the bell ringer. When will this end, Fire? I don't know. Whenever I'm done talking. So peace, bro. Whenever you see that a student hasn't checked in and done the bell ringer for that day, you can call their parents. Call their parents and say, hey, this is so-and-so. I just want to check in and make sure little Johnny was ready to go for the day. We've already had one assignment. He hasn't done it yet, and I want to make sure that he's doing it. The best way to hold students accountable is to inconvenience their parents. Call the parents. You do that every day, and that parent has to keep calling that kid, hitting them up, or walking in their room, whatever it is. That student is going to start doing it because that parent's going to get sick after like a week or two every day going in there. Just be consistent, be polite. Hey, little Johnny hasn't checked in. We had an assignment. And this is a great way to make them check in that day, as opposed to like having excuses the next day or a week later. So there you go. One thing that's also really important for this is create a topic. Create a bell ringer topic, okay? You can go in here. That way the students can sort later their assignments. We can hit schedule. Boom. Okay. Now, let's say I just wanted to go live. I don't want to schedule it. Let's, actually I already did. So let's go to create. Now, when I create one for the future, you could do this. Watch, instead of starting from scratch, I can go to create. I can reuse post. And let's see, this time sometimes takes a while to load. So I'm gonna drink my coffee. So I'm gonna go to hey, I'm gonna go to the bell ringer, and I'm gonna hit reuse. I just reused the bell ringer from the day before. You don't have to wait till the next year to reuse stuff. And then I just go in, I'm gonna say it's still week 1. We're gonna make it Tuesday. And then I'm gonna change out this video, add YouTube. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna right click, copy link address, and I'm going to paste that link in there. That's it, guys. I don't have to rewrite my instructions. The consistency of instructions, once you figure out the best way to do instructions, that's going to build up that consistency for your students. And so you got that, boom, and I can assign that, to Tuesday. Once you get rolling, think of how fast you could do, and you could go in and schedule Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all for next week. I'll be straight up with you guys. I've got the whole semester. You could go in, if you did quote of the day, you could go in, do that, reuse, schedule, and you could do that for the entire year on like 2 hours. On like if you have 2 hours of free PD, go in and do this. You could schedule your quote of the days for the entire year. Just have your calendar up so that you don't do it on like a day they're off. And you're like, well, what if I'm in person? Everything I just did works for in person as well. You could go in. I'm sorry, my alarm's about to go off in my house because somebody just walked out. 1 sec. You guys are great. Take a moment to drink and think of a question if you have it. Okay, it's just on. Okay, so whenever you're doing that, you go in and schedule all those and lay it out for the entire year. And you're like, well, what if we're in person? Would this still work? Yes, it would. You could have this go live at 8 a.m. every day, even if you have 7 periods. Your students see it. Some students might go ahead and start doing it throughout the day if they want to, and they could go in and get used to that. And like they walk in your class, they all got Chromebooks. Boom, they start working. If they don't have Chromebooks, like say your students walk in, they don't have Chromebooks, you could play it, hit as soon as the bell rings, you hit play on the video on your screen, and the students are still commenting. Oh crud, they don't have Chromebooks. They would write it down, have them write it down, or they could discuss it with a neighbor, talk to each other about this, and you just kind of do your stuff you need to do. So that's my best advice for you. If you're math, I've got those as well. That's under bell ringers, and it's got math bell ringers. Okay, you can do these, same thing. Use anything you want out of here. They're all me, and I treat it like that. I say, students, work the problem with me, and then work it together, etc. Okay, so that's my that's how I would run a bell ringer for my students for virtual or in person. I think it's important for creating discussion. It's for consistency. It's a check-in. It gives you time to go in and find students that haven't checked in for the day. It gives you the opportunity to follow with them on these little things so that they don't miss the bigger things later in the day.
What up, Tyler again? Wow, how you guys feeling? Y'all good? You good? Are you good? Okay, in the chat, this is what I want you to do. In the chat right now, I want you to tell me what was your college major. And if you're still in college, you want to be a teacher, or you're just here to learn and grow, I want you to tell me in the chat, what was your major in college? Okay, tell me what was your major in college, and then what do you actually teach now? Are they related? You don't have to, just tell me where you went to college. I'd love to see, throw it in there. We're gonna say, if you see somebody that has the same one, reply to them, give them some knuckle bumps or high fives or thumbs up or peace signs, whatever it is, smiley face. That's my best emoji, smiley face, like that. Toss that in the chat, and let's just talk about where we went to college. And the reason I bring that up is I'm actually the dean of a college. It's called NLC College. It is a partnership with Arkansas Baptist College and New Life Church. It's where we use the New Life Church facilities, and students can come and get an actual degree, associate's or bachelor's degree in business administration or Christian education. They can get those degrees from Arkansas Baptist College, located at NLC, so we call it NLC College. So if you know any students that are interested in maybe attending, if you'd like to hear more about it, hit me up. I'm gonna leave the link on there to the website. Also, the Instagram handle gonna be on there if you wanna check it out. Follow us on Instagram at NLC College. But I can tell you about it, but I'd love for my students to tell you about it. So here are some thoughts about NLC College which I love and I'm a part of. I'm a dean of NLC College, so of course I love it. I wouldn't be there. So if you want to check it out, let's see what they have to say. I'm gonna be low key, for real. These are some of the best students on the planet. These young people, they're straight up, they're world changers. I mean that. And I care a lot about them, and I think they're fantastic. And I'd love for you to hear from them about the school that they attend, NLC College.
I go to NLC College, and two things that I miss about it there are the people whom I miss and I love very much, and the intramural sports, specifically volleyball.
Okay, so if you don't know this, I go to NLC College, and my number one favorite thing about the school is the community. I met some of my best friends there that I have for life, and my second favorite thing is serving at events with the school and putting on preview day.
What's up, guys? You know, something I love about NLC College is all the free coffee and coffee mugs that they give you.
Hey guys, I just finished my first year at NLC College, and there's two things that I really, really miss. One being just the family aspect of the school, and two, chapel. I miss worshiping with my friends.
What's up, everyone? I want to get on here real quick and tell you all about why my college, NLC College, is the best school ever for two reasons in particular. One, the community I've been able to be a part of, and two, the opportunities that have opened up for me since I've been going to school there.
Y'all, I just finished my first year at NLC College, and it was absolutely incredible. I already miss our weekly leadership development classes and just getting to be up at the church all day, every day.
Hello. I go to NLC College. I love it because JK, I do go to NLC College, but two things that I love about it is one, you're always held accountable, and two, everyone in the community pushes you to be the absolute best you can be.
What's up, New Life Church and NLC College? Something that I love about my college that I go to is how we have a community of people who are all like-minded with the same goal, and how they've given me the tools to grow and develop myself as well as my business. Shameless plug.
Guys, I just want to hop on here and talk about my school. I'm sad that it's my last year at NLC College, but I'm thankful for everything that I've learned, like how to live life right and by the Bible, and definitely I love Dr. Q's jokes.
What is up, guys? So if you didn't know, I just finished my first year at New Life Church College, and by far my favorite things about it are one, the community of people that you're surrounded by, and two, all the free time you get to do the things you're passionate about and just to hang out with all of your best friends all the time.
So one thing that I love about New Life College is that it didn't slow me down from doing what I wanted to do with my life, which was music. It actually supported me. New Life College feels less like a school, more like a family to me. So yeah, that's one of the main things that I love about the school.
Hey guys, I'm here to share two fantastic things about NLC College. So one is the community that you get when you go to NLC College, and then how caring the professors are about you and your grade.
Hey, what up, everybody? I wanted to let you know a little bit about NLC College, the school I go to. I'm going to tag them here so you can go to their page. But one, if you're even thinking about going there, please sign up for housing. It's such an amazing experience. And two, the community there is like none other. They're all...
Things I like about NLC College is Tarver, he's the best. And number two is that it's affordable. So, because, I'm going to be broke. And, or I am broke. But that don't make me too broke. You feel me?
Okay, hey guys, I go to NLC College, and the number one favorite thing I love about that school is the community. I made friends there that I have for life. I'm zooming in. Why?
Now, some of you guys, if you want to use my quote of the day stuff, awesome. I've got it. It's free. Use it away. Okay. I've even got the template on there for what you can say. Math, I've got you. I've actually got some Google, like say you're an administrator, you can do, I've got, if you go to Bellringer links, I've got some Google tips of the day if you want, and you can go in and use all this. Material. Okay, Mary, you said material. How would you use it in Google Classroom? Sorry, have it. Okay, you did. Okay, you said it is Google Classroom. What do you mean by material? So like you said, how would you use it in Google Classroom? What do you mean material? Like classroom material? Or I'm sorry, I'm not following. Explain it to me. I'm going to talk about my skills checklist while you explain it because I'm not smart enough to understand. I'm sorry, Mary. I know it probably makes sense to you, and you're like, "This is what I mean." I'm sorry. I don't get what you're saying. Material. How would you use it in Google Classroom? I'd walk through it like this. I'm trying to think if you mean material, like how would I use like classroom materials, like as far as like syllabi, or are you talking about like if I have a lesson? I'll let you explain it and I'll stop talking. If you want, I've got a skills checklist here. It's on my website too, tarveracademy.com/Google. These are all Google tips and tutorials for you if you have any struggles or challenges, or if you just want to pass a Google Level 1 Educator exam. It's a checklist, all these videos. And I've actually started linking these live walkthroughs up here at the top. So the big ones, that's a full walkthrough. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Mary said, when posting a new assignment, an option above reuse is material. That's great. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Not smart. Okay. So right here, classwork. Let's say I want to do it under classwork and not stream. I think I would probably use stream, to be honest, with this. Actually, I'm not, because you don't have the same options. So create material. This is what I would do for syllabus. And then I would say, please read and then type your name in the discussion to let me know you've read this and agree with it. I would click add and I would link to it. Actually, I just go to my Drive and grab it because you probably made it in Google Drive. Yes, Mary, that's exactly what I would do. Examples, rubrics, syllabi. Let's say this is my syllabus. I can insert that there. And then I would just, under topic, you want to create a topic for this too. It would just be, you could call it general class material. I'll just call it class resources. Okay, that's a good topic. You want to go to all your students, whoever it would need to go to, and then I would post it. Syllabus, class. If you actually had like, hey, here's a list of things. Here's a list of things that you need to, be in my class. Oh man, I made the same screen small. Sorry, guys. So I would go in there. I would make it a syllabus, class, what you need, class materials. If you had any rubrics, if it was like, maybe it was like a list of other students in the class so that they wanted to be able to email each other. You could put the class email list, things like that. If it's groups, like say you're doing group work, you could sort into groups and toss it in here in the materials. So great question. Fun fact, Mary, I've never used materials till just now. Thank you for making me use it. That's why I was so confused, because I didn't know what you were talking about. So because I never used it, but now you've allowed me to use it. So thank you. Okay. Any more thoughts, questions, ideas we can roll through? Guess what? Next week. Okay. So the next video I'm going to do is going to be on how to do video in your classroom. And I'm talking finding and posting videos that are already made on YouTube, how to do a YouTube live, how to do this, which I'm doing StreamYard. If you want to do live from your cell phone, if you want to, what are the other options? Google Meet. I'm going to talk through that. I'll talk through Zoom, maybe, if y'all make me, but Google Meet, all that. So we're walking through all that stuff, and I'm excited about that because I think that's one thing that a lot of teachers, they want to be the one that presents the information to their students. And I get that, okay? I get that completely. The problem is they haven't done it in an environment where they're either pre-recording it and putting it out there, or B, they're running it live. And I mean, that's what I'm doing now. And you guys know, like, it can be distracting because I'm chatting with you guys in the comments. I'm doing it because I care about you guys and I want to talk to you. But that's something I'm going to split out and do next week. We actually, my college, NLC College, we start classes next week on Monday. Our administration made the call to do virtual starting out, and then they're going to try to phase into in-person. And so I know a lot of you guys are starting in a few weeks. We're starting next week. And I've been talking with the students a lot, and just we're trying to figure out ways to build community. It's going to be a mixture of stuff, but I'm excited. Lori said, we are setting up our Google Classrooms with a common topic across the district. Week 1, week 2, all materials, assignments, etc., will go under that one topic. Okay. And you're turning off the option for assignments to go in the stream. All assignments will only be visible under classwork instead of in both places. Okay. So I'm trying to understand this. Lori said we are setting up our Google Classrooms. Oh, okay. Sorry. The first time I read that, I thought you were saying you're setting up one Google Classroom for your whole school. I was like, that's going to be chaos. No, this makes more sense. Okay, let me read it through the context of how you actually said it. We are setting up our Google Classrooms with a common topic across the district. Week 1, week 2, etc. All material assignments will go under that one topic. Ooh, that's a pretty good idea. So I'm going to show you what Lori is talking about. They're creating assignments. So I create an assignment. Let's say I want to do the bell ringer. Oh, crud. Let's do the bell ringer. Okay, so I want to create assignment, but I'm going to reuse. I'm going to grab that bell ringer template. Now, let's say I want to make this my week 2. Okay, week 2, Tuesday bell ringer. All right. They're putting, what Lori's school is doing is they're universally across the district. They're making the topic week 2. And then hit assign. You know what? That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that, because what it does right here is it organizes, instead of you thinking like, because if you do it the other way, okay, so there's 2 ways to do online courses, and we've done both when I was a principal. So you can do it to where it is in session, which is where it's like the students follow with you either day by day. Here's your assignments for the day, and they're doing that with you on schedule. Or you can be like for the full week. And a lot of college classes are like this, where they'll say on Monday, boom, it goes live. Here's what's due on Sunday. And you have the whole week to do it. We all do it on Sunday afternoon. Now, the other way to do it is to lay out the whole course for students. And then they just work at their own pace, which means they're going to cram it all in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But you can be like, here you go, work at your own pace and I'll check in with you. What you guys are doing is essentially that middle model. I wonder, Lori, are you guys assigning them their full week's worth of courses at one time and labeling it this? Or are you still going day by day, but labeling it week 1, 2, and 3? Let me know, because there's different ways to approach that if you're doing it that way. I kind of like this idea. I'm going to start trying to use this with people. That's, it's not a bad option, because here's what it does. It allows students to see very easily if they're behind. Because if I've got assignments and they're like this, that means I haven't done it, versus like shaded like this. If I'm a student and I see that, and we're on week 3 and I see that, it's an easy way for them to see that they missed something that they should have been doing. And I like that you're doing the district wide, to be honest with you, because, pick a lane and run there. It helps students get consistent and know what's happening. Sounds interesting. Mary said, sounds interesting, Lori. Just made a note of that and going to think about it more and discuss it with the LC team. Not a bad, I think it's worth discussing, because you got to think, what's more important? Is it putting it in class resources, bell ringer, all that, or week 1, week 2, week 3? I'm a doctorate stuff at Harding, and they have it set up. The assignments will have due dates that are specific, but they set it up in modules. And so that's essentially what you're doing. You're creating a module, but you're doing it by week, which I like better than module 1, 2, 3. I like weeks. Kelly said they're doing the same thing, week 1, week 2. That's cool. Julie said, would you do an exit ticket the same way? Still trying to wrap my head around how to schedule my block, bell ringer, lesson, etc. exit ticket. Okay, Julie. So if you are in person, but you're also having students virtual, I would probably do it to where, and by exit ticket, are you talking about like an evaluation assessment? I know different people mean different things by exit ticket. But I'm gonna talk on the second part, said where you're trying to wrap your head around how to schedule your block, your chunk of time that you have with the students. If you're high school, so like here is an example right here. Here's an example of a schedule for, and it's probably more for like early ed. You could start with an announcement video from your teacher at 8, 8:15, your bell ringer goes live. 8:30 is when that bell ringer's due, and then the students are working on the assignment. They're working through a video playlist. That gives you time, because you're not having to teach. It's either your video's pre-recorded or somebody else's. It gives you time to call parents and be like, hey, they haven't checked in. They haven't talked on the announcement. They haven't talked on the bell ringer. I need them to check in and start doing stuff. Google Meet starts at 10. Students start their homework at 12, and then you have like open office hours from 2 to 3. Now, if you're high school, which is I think what Julie's talking about here, it's different because you don't have all day where you have those students. And so honestly, what you do is you would take that. I don't know if I just kicked y'all off my audio. I think I didn't. Are y'all still there? Okay, good. What you would do is you would take that and you would condense it. If you're going class by class, like say you're a block schedule, or you're talking about your block like every day you have for 45 minutes, I would have bell ringer kicks in. That's 5 minutes. Okay, it's a good little assignment because you're getting assignments every day. Students can't miss a day and be like, oh, it doesn't matter, no assignments were due. Every day assignments due because you have a bell ringer. Then you have 40 minutes to teach them. What I would recommend, guys, is you're gonna have to go flip classroom. If you're out there, you don't have time to spend in that 40 minutes where you're just delivering content. You're gonna have to pre-record that video. You're gonna have to pre-record it or go find a video on YouTube or whatever resource you're using. You assign that as homework, okay? And you're thinking, well, they got all their classes doing it. Yeah, they had homework in all their classes too. This guarantees they only have 20 or 30 minutes for your class to get prepped. And you're not wasting that time delivering. I say waste. You're not utilizing all your time delivering those resources. They're getting that. And then when they come into your class in your Google Meet, you're sitting there hitting the individual stuff. You're creating conversation. You're doing activities. You're getting the stuff that requires you and interaction with you. Let them pull in that information, that content outside of class as homework. And that's how I do it. And then at the end of the class, you do your exit ticket. You do like a quick quiz or evaluation. You can do a quiz in classroom. For week 2, you could do create a question. Okay, this could be your exit ticket. You could say, week 2 Tuesday exit question, and every student has to answer something. Short answer, multiple choice, whatever you want them to do. They have to answer it. Summarize today in 1 sentence. I spelled it wrong. Sorry. And then you add that as the quiz. That's your exit ticket. Maybe you could do that. Just an idea. Throwing that out there. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong answer. I'm saying that's an idea. Okay. Lori said that she thinks they're doing day by day. That's totally fine too, because it still organizes your week. So I think that's totally okay. Day by day, but you label it under the topic of week. I think that's going to be good for you guys to stay organized. Kelly said, I'm using 1 Google slide a week, so all my work will link to Google Classroom to week 1. Okay, I've actually seen that. Some people are laying out their entire week on a Google slide, and it literally will just say, like, let's say I'm in here, and it'll just say Monday up here, and then it has what they need to do for Monday, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday. That's essentially like you're condensing your Google Classroom and your resources, and instead you're putting it all in there. Now, you could attach all that to like one assignment in Classroom that's titled week 1. You could just say week 1, and then you have every resource. The problem is they might watch the resources out of order. And that's why I always recommend in Google Classroom, whenever you are in the description, I recommend doing this. So whenever you're making an assignment in the description, you say, number 1, watch the video. Number 2, complete the form. Number 3, type a discussion. 4, submit this. I lay it out. It's virtual. If it's virtual, you've got to be so clear and so procedural with everything that you're doing. Farah said, in a previous live video, you talked about posting video analysis directly from Google Classroom. Mine took a long time to load the videos. Is that typical? It depends how long the video is. So that's a good question, Farah. Because we talked about in a previous one how you can go directly from Google Classroom and post a video, and it uploads it to Google Drive. So you're uploading a video to Google Drive. What I recommend, if you're doing that, because what I'm assuming you did is not like a 5-minute or less announce video, because you would have seen progress pretty consistently on that if you have decent internet. What you probably did is like a 45-minute video. Yes, that's going to take a while. It's going to take maybe 20 minutes, and that's a long time to have your phone sitting there uploading. If you're recording like a full lesson, like I like the community videos or a quick announcement video or a bell ring or whatever it is. If it's 5 minutes or less, straight from your phone is good. If it's a longer video, from Tyler's experience of doing a lot of videos and posting them to the internet, you don't want to spend 45 minutes teaching a lesson and then something mess up and then Google Classroom crash and you lose your video. It makes me nervous making a video longer than 5 minutes directly in Google Classroom. And I probably should have said this whenever I did that, but I'm sorry. I'm glad you asked now. When you make a long video, I feel safer if I can see the record button. And then whenever I stop recording, I know I'll have that video, and then I can figure out the upload. Because what you're doing when you go directly into Google Classroom and do a video, you're recording and uploading, boom, directly in there. It's like one step. When you record it, hit stop, and then you upload it, it's like 2 steps of the process. So it takes longer to do it, but it opens the opportunity for it not to be, you could figure out if it messes up here before you try to do the same thing here, okay? So good question, Farrah, and that's what I would recommend. And it probably did take a long time if you did a long video. Now, you could do the same thing. You can record the whole video and then upload into Drive and then tag it in Classroom. You don't have to put it on YouTube, but that's what I would do. Split those steps out. Lori said, yes. Oh, Lucy's here. Cool. Lucy's our next door neighbor's dog. Lori said, when we were shut down, we rolled it out on Monday, all due the next Sunday, like college. But that didn't work so well. It's probably because they all waited till Sunday night, or they didn't do it at all. And then you look up Monday and you got a student who is a full week behind and now has to do 2 weeks at once. So, yep, I completely understand. And Lori said, so you think they'll do it day by day, just having it all show up in one place? I think that's a great idea. I like that a lot better for K through 12. I like that a lot better than laying it out week to week. So I think that y'all made the right decision. You don't need my approval, but I think you made the right decision. Julie's talking about a high school math hybrid. Okay, yes, that's what I would do, Julie, what we talked about earlier. If you're in person plus virtual, it's almost like you have to do it period by period. I would still do it in those blocks and make that 1 hour block of when your class is. Make it when you do your open Google Meet. And I would also even open up office hours later. So here's one thing you guys are going to need to think about and decide with your administrators. And I've asked administrators when I speak at schools, like, what are you doing? What's your plan for this? Is because if you are fully virtual and you are a high school teacher that has, I teach 5 periods of Algebra 2, okay? You do not need to check in like a normal school day and teach that lesson 5 times throughout the day. You do not need to go, okay, well, it's first period. I need to go in. Hey, guys, today we're learning about this. Second period. Hey, guys, we're learning about this. You don't need to do that. Condense those. Put them together. And either have all of them watch you live on StreamYard like this. You can have 100 students in a class like this. They can all be having discussion. They can all be talking. You can be addressing questions. You can do that with a live video. You could even do that with a YouTube Premiere. Google Meet, it's harder. So what I would recommend is you either do something like this to deliver all the content the first time, or you can pre-record it, or you can just attach a video from YouTube. That's how you deliver the content in bulk to the students at once. Then what you do is you have open Meet hour for like an hour or 2 in the day. And then the students can check in and ask individual questions. You might have some students that don't ever have to check in at all. And that's just, if they're on their stuff, they've got an A or a B. What's the purpose of them checking in? They're handling business. You might call them just to build, rapport with them, connection, like, hey, let's do a Google Meet. I just want to hang out. You can make them do that. But what you're doing is you're using that Google Meet time to trim out that 80%, 70 to 80% of students that don't need your individual help. They can just watch videos and do the work online. And you can really focus on that 20 to 30% of students who need help. We actually did something at the district when I was in central office at Bauxite called a Flex Mod Schedule, where students actually had that opportunity where if they were doing well in classes, they could go work independently. But if they needed extra help, they could go in and get tutoring from teachers. And so that's an option. Lori said we're doing blended. Our high school math teachers are doing flipped classroom because they have to record a video anyways. It's true. In-person students will work on homework in class. I'm not gonna lie, Lori, I kind of like that for in-person anyways. We used to do that in my class. Now, I wouldn't just have them sitting there working on the problems. Work out a way to where they're like using what they learned on the flipped classroom and they're building it into like a class presentation, or they're taking turns walking through it or presenting. I would mix that up and try some different stuff for that. Don't make it just like working through the problems. Kushal just said, what is this video about? We're doing bell ringers, but now I'm doing like a Q&A part where we're talking about how to incorporate video or do like flipped or virtual learning in your classes. Yeah, I'm doing a video. Can I wait a second?
Mom, Lucy is over here, and then she needs your help.
Okay, I'll be in there in a second. Thank you. I'm gonna tie a knot for a dog. That's my daughter Ezra. We of course want your approval. You don't need my approval at all. Got to run dentist appointment. Mary, I've actually got an appointment in like 15 minutes too. So I'm gonna have to bounce too. And thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. I'm gonna tell you a couple of ways you can connect with me if you want. We've got tarveracademy.com. That's where I've got these bell ringers. It's just click the bell ringers link at the top. And I've got all these for you guys if you want. If not, go to YouTube, find you somebody that you like that's got a lot of videos, and you can use those as bell ringers. If you want to text teacher to 501-214-4071, this is completely free. It's a way for me to send you out resources as I make them. As I make these resources, if I build something, if I finish bell ringers, or if I do like a Google form for back to school or whatever it is, or if I'm going to do one of these live videos, I can send that out to you. I didn't to my group. I'm sorry. I didn't do the group last night because I didn't know I was going to be able to do this morning until last night at like 10, and I don't want to text you guys at 10. It's free to you guys. So if you want, do that. If you haven't hit the red subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe and the like button. It's just really nice to do for YouTubers that make stuff. If you could hit that subscribe button, that would be cool. And then Patreon, we had our July book giveaway, which today is the 31st. So it's the last day to enter to win this, which I've only got, I think, one person that's entered. So you've got a really good chance. So if you want, go to patreon.com/Tldr Tarver. If you want to support me on Patreon, that's cool. You don't have to. If you want to, that's cool. It helps me pay for stuff like StreamYard and the tech service and all that other stuff, but you don't have to. The thing that I want you to do is enter to win this, and all you got to do is comment on the post where we're doing the book giveaway. That's for July. I'm giving away Ron Clark's book for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. If you want, hit me up. You can also text me through that text thing. Then I've been responding to people as they have questions there too. Just give me some time because I have to, a lot of questions. So thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all be good. Stay sweet.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. You guys have learned a lot, hopefully, and hopefully this has added you a lot of value. What we'd like to do now is I want to go through some free resources I have that you can utilize and insert into Google Classroom and use in your class, maybe on a daily basis, daily basis, weekly basis. I'm going to show you how to get these resources, how to insert them into Classroom. As you know, Google Classroom, it is kind of like a hub. It's an LMS, a learning management system, but it's also a hub for you to put all of your stuff that you're assigning to students in. And so reaching the end of this, I kind of want to just be like, hey, here's a resource in slides or sheets or docs, and here's how you could put it into Google Classroom and add value, have it add value to you and your students in your class. So we're just going to do some resources till the end. This is it. We're going to get some free resources, work through these, toss them in Classroom, and that's it. Then we're calling it a day. Hope you guys learned something today, and I appreciate you being here with me. And let's do the resource roundup. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome. My name's Tyler, Tarver Academy, and I'm so excited you're here. And I wanted to do what I call a resource roundup. It's where I kind of go through a few resources, show you how to implement them, like full walkthrough. This is what it is. This is what you can do to start it. And this is what it can look like when you put it into Google Classroom. So let's start at tarveracademy.com/resources. So if you have access to another device, or you maybe can jump into a different tab, I'd recommend doing that because you're in the actual action of doing, as opposed to just like trying to memorize the words I'm saying. So we're at tarveracademy.com/resources. I've also got it linked up here at the top. You're just going to go to templates and resources. We're going to scroll down. Okay. This is the place. If you're in the Tarver Academy honor roll, what's up? tarveracademy.com/honor roll. Then you're good. Okay. You can join the honor roll. I've got them all in there as well, but I've got them through here. And what we want to do is we want to go into how we could implement maybe a daily student reflection journal. I love this student reflection journal, and I think it's super helpful for teachers and also for students. I think it's important for any of us to reflect on our day, not only what we appreciate and we've learned the previous days, but what we want to learn and accomplish that day. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this and you're going to click on this link, Daily Student Reflection Journal. Okay. When you do that, it's going to ask you to make a copy. I will not have access to this. It is now your copy. So you can click make a copy. And then we're going to duplicate it. So now I no longer have access. Even though I created it, I no longer have access. So I've got a little message to people on this front page. If you want to check that out, totally cool. But for the purposes of this, we're going to assume you already read that. It's just like a little welcome for me and some links to some stuff if you need or want that. Okay. So I'm talking you through how I would do this, how I would implement this into my classroom. And so when I do that, I'm going to think through all of it. I'm going to think through the whole process so that you can see that. So up here at the top, I want to make this a template for me. Okay. So you want it to be a template. I've created this as a 9 weeks template. So the idea is that you have this, it's almost like you're handing them a binder or a journal that students would have. When I was in high school, I had a history teacher and he had these, remember those black and white composite notebooks? And we would come into class and we'd write for like a paragraph on what we learned the day before. And then we'd put that in a little basket under our chair. Okay. And then there were like 4 or 5 because people in different class periods would rotate through. Now, the idea with this is you're creating this journal in bulk and then you're going to put it in classroom, make a copy for everybody. So let's see what that would look like. So this first slide, I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to delete it. Now, I want this to be my template. So I could call this, like, if you're actually making this, think through, like, I'm making this the first 9 weeks, but I also want this to be something that that I can use every year, year after year. And so I'm going to change the title to First 9 Weeks Template. That way I know how to get to it. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to add my name because you're assigning this for your classes. So I'm just going to say Mr. Tarver because that's going to be on there for every student now. Every student has Mr. Tarver there. I can put whatever course it is. I think this is applicable to any course. So we could put something like, what do we teach now? I was a history major in college that only taught high school math. So we're going to say, you know what? I'm teaching world history, which is probably what I would have taught if I could have. Okay, the dates, you would just, you do the dates. So it'd be like August and November. Oh, no, I skipped one. August, September. I know my months. Okay, so August, September. I like to do this because it's not like I have to remember the day, and I hate looking at. I do not like scheduling things. I don't like looking at calendars. I just don't like it. So I'm just gonna say August, September because October, November. Oh, it's gonna be halfway through October, isn't it? I'm thinking of the 9 weeks. I'm thinking of our semester. August. Let's say August through October. August through October. You can put the dates in there if you want, and then add a quote that you like. All I do is win. Who said that? All I do is win, 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 no matter what. In the chat, who sang that song? Got money on my mind. Who sang that? I don't know who sang it. I'm sorry, this has now bothered me. In the chat, you probably already said it. I need to look at the chat. It's by DJ Khaled. That's who it is. I wouldn't have thought that. Say DJK stands for DJ Khaled. Okay, so you can pick a quote that you like. As you know, as I do with all of my resources, you've got important links here. So I would think that you would go in and add some links, like what's a school website, and then you could link to the school website. Say you're bauxite miners, you could just do this. I could do bauxite. Boom. You could go in and make links that are important, like contact me or Google Classroom, all that. Okay, so you could do that. And then we're going to roll to slide 3. This is Google Help stuff. This is just for students, like a reference page for students so they can always bounce back and learn how to get some help with some Google products. This is a navigation because as you go through the 9 weeks, they're going to be like scrolling through. It's going to be cumbersome to go like, okay, I got to go to week 4. Now they can just click this and it'll jump to that week so they don't have to scroll and search. Okay, because it gets to be where it's how many slides are we? 77 slides. You don't want them to have to search too much. Okay. Week 1, we're going to go back there. So week 1, you can put any information here that you want. So you could say like start of school. Make sure you ask questions if you don't understand procedures. I'm here to help. I do a lot of exclamation points, apparently. So here's what you got to keep in mind. I'm creating this. I'm not filling this out for me like, oh, I want to talk about my feelings. I'm filling this out to prep it so that I can give it to every student, and then every student has this information, okay? So that's the idea. You got to keep in your mind the mindset of, okay, I'm making this, and then I know that every student is going to be viewing it as an individual student, and I can't go in and, you know, add that stuff later. I think there's an add-on called like Slip and Slide or something like that. I've never tried it, but I hear good things. Okay? So this is what it looks like for your students. The students are going to go in. You could go in and put the date for all these. I would recommend the students do it. It's good for them to know the date, okay? Because I lived 98% of my life not knowing what day it is. So it would be good for them to be reminded every morning. The idea is that students would come in and they would complete this at the beginning of class every day, or the beginning of school every day. All right? They would go in and they would drag the circle over the emoji of how you feel that day. And so the students are going to do this. Now, I'm not going to do this because this is for the students, remember? So I'm going to hit Command Z. You want them to list 3 things they're thankful for that day. 1, 2, 3. What is your favorite thing you learned yesterday? Good reflection on the day before. And then what do you hope to accomplish today? Okay, so we're not actually going to do anything to that slide. And I'll do 5 of them per week. And then they're going to talk about their big reflections. This is all for the students to fill in. If the students are filling it in, I'm good. I'm not messing with it. I ain't messing with perfection here, okay? I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. Then end of week reflections. A lot of what we're doing with this assignment, this journal, is that they're essentially journaling. It's organized journaling. You're telling them what to do, okay? And so it scrolls through. You're going to get all those weeks 1 through 9. The rest of the weeks look very similar to the first week, and you're good. Like, that's the assignment. We've got it. So I'm daily. I want to remember. Now, this is important. I want to remember the title of this template: Daily Student Reflection Journal, First 9 Weeks. So now I'm going to Google Classroom. I'm going to pick one of my classes. Let's go to History and Magic. Magic. What's that from? In the chat, what's that from? Magic. No, you do, you don't. Okay, so we're in the class. Now, I want to assign this. Do not put it right here. Do not put it right here. Don't put it in the stream. Okay, stream, the S in stream stands for suggestion. So don't put it in there because it is a suggestion that they'll actually look at it. So what you want to do is you want to go up here to create, and you're going to create an actual assignment because you're going to want to take a grade on this journal. So we're going to say it's an actual assignment. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to call this, student. They're all students. So every assignment's for the student. Reflection, called a daily reflection journal, and we'll call it first 9 weeks. Okay, now this is super important, and I think a lot of teachers overlook this. You need to be extremely clear to your students in the instructions. Now, here's what I always like to tell teachers. This is what I always like to remind them. As you're making this, you need to put the instructions in as if a parent who has never sat in your class for 30 seconds is trying to understand what to do. Okay. And this over the past 1.5 years has been, past couple years with the pandemic, it's been important to do everything with the mindset that a parent could be sitting there trying to help or teach this with them. So I want to be very clear. It says, this is for you to do every single day. 1, open this journal as soon as the bell rings. Bell rings. You have exactly, I'd say like 4 minutes and 18 seconds to complete it. That's enough time for you to take roll and do everything that you need to do. Fill out every single box. Okay. Then do not submit yet. You will submit the last day of the 9 weeks. If not, you're going to be returning them. If you have any questions, hit me up. Okay. Now, that's very clear. If you thought of something more clear, you good. Okay. You're better than me. So what we're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to create it as clear as possible. And then you might even add something like, if you have any questions, you're going to do this every single day. Okay. Then we need to hit add. And we're going to add something from our Google Drive. Spoiler alert. What's it going to be? We are going to add the thing we just created, the template we just made. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to go to my drive. I'm going to go, what was it? What did we call it? Do you remember what the title? Oh, it's up there at the top. Daily Student Reflection. I've got so many copies of stuff from doing these tutorials at schools. Okay. Daily Student. I think this is it. We'll find out very shortly if I pick the right one. Did he choose wisely? We can click on it and look at it. Let's see if it says, yep. Oh, no, this is a different one. It's okay. It's okay. This is just a template tutorial. You'll know where it is. Okay. Now, this is important. Before you hit send, I need to check my settings. I always check my settings. We want every student to have a copy. Make a copy for each student. We make sure it's this class. We could select multiple classes if we wanted to. So I can just be like, bam, bam, toss it in there. We can make it worth, I mean, this is a notebook for the whole 9 weeks. Let's make it 200 points. Okay. It's important. Due date. Let's pick the last day of the 9 weeks, which is what? Let's pretend like it's mid-October. Where you at, little buddy? October 15th. That looks like a good time. No time of day. Now, this is important. We want to add topic. If you already have a topic, this is like, I would put this under like a resources section. If you don't have a resources, where it has like the syllabus, if you have like the Google cheat teacher or Google cheat sheet for students that I made, you can put that under there. But the thing is, you want to go in and you want to put it into, let's see if we have one. Bell ringers. I mean, that could go under bell ringers. If this is your bell ringer every day, you could put under bell ringers. Important links and materials, you could put it there. You could put it as like 9 weeks assignments, whatever. Pick whatever works for you. I'm going to choose bell ringers. And then I don't need to do anything else. And I'm going to hit assign. Boom. It's now going to make a copy for every single student that I have in all of those classes. Now, here's the cool thing. Google, whenever you do that, you are creating a copy for every student. It's going into their drive. However, you can still access and view everybody's live document at any time. So watch this. So I'm going to go back to my class. Where you at, little buddy? Where you at, little buddy? Here we go. History of Magic. I'm here. I want to see this assignment. It's 2 weeks in, and I want to just make a check and make sure everybody's filling it out. I'm going to hit that folder. I did that fast. Let me do it again. Do you see this folder right here on History of Magic in the bottom right? I can click that folder, and I'm going to be able to go in, and I'm going to be able to view. Boom. I can view every assignment I've created for all of these students. So I can go in and be like daily reflection journal. I can click on this. It's going to show me every single student. I could go in and be like, oh, is Hermione doing her work? I could double click on it and view Hermione and see what she's doing in live time, in real time with all of the assignments. So boom, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Hope that was helpful. Hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of that. Let's do another resource, shall we? I think we should do another resource. So we're going to go to tarveracademy.com/resources. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Here we go. Here we go. My internet, it believes in me. tarveracademy.com/resources. That didn't type right. tarveracademy.com/resources. Boom. There we go. There we go. All right. How are y'all feeling? In the chat, how you feeling? How you feeling today? You feeling good? Feeling all right? Okay. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to do another one. I think we're going to lean in on the interactive digital notebook, if that's okay with everybody. So let's go here. This is similar to the last one. The last one was like a bell ringer to help you, help your students reflect on their day, talk about what they're thankful for because it's extremely helpful. This one, we want to create an interactive digital notebook. This would be like their hub for everything they do in your class. I'm going to recommend weekly at first until you get the hang of it, or until you do it for like a full year. Oh no, don't sign me in as her. I need to sign into my other account. Sorry, it's trying to sign me in as Hermione Granger. That's not what we want. Get out of here. Get out of here, young lady. Although she was the hero of the entire series. Like, it should have been Hermione Granger and all the problems she solved because she's super smart and hardworking. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a copy of this digital notebook. You can make the copy, tarveracademy.com/resources. You can click on it, make a copy. It's going to roll up. Okay. So the idea with this resource is that you're able to make this like a hub for everything that you're assigning that week for your students. Again, I have a full semester version. I would not recommend that because one, they can't turn it in like once a semester. It's hard to do grades that way with Classroom. And number two, you're going to be constantly like updating and modifying and learning with what you're doing. I would do weekly for the first year or the first semester. And then next year you can copy paste those slides and build out the entire semester. That's what I would recommend. And you could just assign them a full, I would do it by 9 weeks. That's my personal opinion. So we're going to call it, just so I remember this name whenever we search it, we're going to call it Ultimate Digital Notebook Week Template. Okay. This is a little welcome from me, some information about ways you can keep getting better in the class. We're going to delete that slide after you've read it, of course. Then I'm going to go in and do this. Name. That's my name. You're not going to want that. You're going to want your students to put that name in. Subject. I can put subject in. What do I want to teach today? Let's say I am the East teacher. Any East teachers out there? Okay. I was going to be the East teacher at BB. I taught math for a long time, and I was about to be the East teacher. Then I got a job as an administrator. So never got a chance to do it. Would have been great. Could have edited some videos. Put your favorite quote here. What's your favorite quote? We're going to put, I'm going to go here. We're going to say, hop up out the bed and put our swag on. Anybody know who said that? Anybody know? Anybody know? You got a few seconds in the chat. That's right. Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy, tell them. You can put whatever quote you want for the week. Remember, this is the slide where you put important links that they would need for your class. You would insert those there. Here is where you would put any help videos. Well, you don't have to put them. I've already put them in there. But you can go in and edit them, change them up, help videos. This is like an attendance thing. A lot of teachers have had students that were virtual over the past year, and so they're checking in and doing things remotely. The idea for this was students that are working remotely could go in and they could put in the times they're actually working. If you're in person, or you probably don't need this. So we're going to hit delete. If you do need it, cool. You could always get it back. You just click this little arrow, and I've got it in my huge template. Here's the cool thing. As I keep creating these templates and making copies and adding on, like all these other things, like there's attendance stuff in here, checklists, all this. It's pretty cool. So we would say what week number. Let's say this is week 3. Any notes you want to put in here. We have an assembly on Tuesday. Cool. Okay. Then I could even do it here. I could say, oh, this is we get a glance. I could tell them what to expect. We're going to go over slope. We're going to go over slope intercept. I'm an East teacher who's teaching slope and slope intercept. Then we're going to go record museum. Oh, I shouldn't have done museum. It's a hard word to spell. A lot of vowels. Videos. And you could give them a glance at their week. Okay. You could even link those to the things that they needed to do. All right. Now let's jump into it. This is a to-do list. I love this. Let me show you. Okay. So I base this around kind of what I love about the my full focus planner that I use. And it's got like a big 3. So if there's 3 things the students want you to do there's 3 things you want your students to do on a Monday, you would put it in here. On Monday, I want to make sure they write in your daily, come on now, daily reflection journal. That's important because we just talked about it. You could say you need to come up with a project related to slope. Then you need to watch this video. You could go in here. Here's a cool thing. This is digital. It's like a digital planner you've got for your students. You could say Tyler, Tarver video, whatever you're wanting them to watch. Here's a YouTube, boom. I can link to it. So I remember this. I'm thinking through the perspective of I'm creating this, and then I'm going to duplicate it for every student so they can walk through their week. Here's the cool thing. That's my Monday. Say you were like, oh, I need to go in and I need to create a new slide. Guess what? Boom. On Monday, you could go in here and you could do this, and you could copy paste like a ton of information from Wikipedia. that you needed them to read. It's like, hey, read this. And it's like 2 paragraphs. Or it's an announcement for the day. You know, say you have the daily announcements. You could copy paste the announcements after each of those days. You can expand this notebook or condense it however you want. Same thing for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You could also copy paste. So like say you have a presentation you're giving on Tuesday and it's like 10 slides. You could go in and you could, let me show you. Let's say I have, let's go to my drive. I'm showing you. I got to show you. Show, don't tell. That's from the Butler Teacher Conference. My buddy Neil talked about that. Show, don't tell. Okay, so we're going to go in. Let's go to resources. I want to go into presentations. Now, remember, I've turned this one to where it looks like a notebook. Most of your presentations are vertical, but not a big deal. Let's do one. How about this? Okay. So you can go into a Google slide presentation that you already have, and you're like, you know what? I want the students to just have these slides. This is going to be important for them. They need to learn it. You can go in and grab those slides. Watch this. This is incredible. This is incredible. This is a game changer. It's a game changer. It's just a game changer as long as this loads. While that's loading in the chat, if you could say thank you to somebody else who attended this chat. There's been people in here all day and just working hard and participating, and I just appreciate that. So you know what? You can tell yourself thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab this presentation. Let's say I want to grab these, 4 slides right here. So boom, 4 slides. I just click the first one, hold shift, click the last one that I want. That's going to select all. So then I'm going to hit Command C if you're on a Mac, Control C if you're on anything else. That copies. And then I'm just going to go right here. Let's say on Tuesday, I want them to cover those slides. I'm going to paste. Command V or Control V. And what it's going to do is it's going to paste. Oh, no, that didn't work. Stop. Oh, I was trying. You ruined it. Making embarrassment for my friends. Oh, my goodness. I messed it up. I apologize. I didn't copy very well. That's on me. So let's try it again because this is a great one. Here we go. Tiffany, hey, what's up? Oh my goodness, yes. That's a great idea. Thank you. I hope you use it. I hope it helps. That's a great, I love that you're teaching that. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to select these. The one thing I love about this type of notebook setup is that you can make it so easy. We feel like we have to take the easiest route for us as the presenter, like, oh, they should have listened or they should have said it. How many times do you hear stuff or read an email where it's hard for you to remember that whenever you go back and look? Like, why not make it as clear and as simple as possible and not put all these barriers? It's like saying, hey, all you gotta do is cross this bridge. And then you want to never tell them the map one time verbally and you never reiterate where it is. So let's try it again. Copy. I think that you can just make it as easy as possible for people to do what you want them to do. I want my students to learn. So why don't I put it in the most learnable place that I can? I think this worked. Give it a second. Come on. There it is. Look, it even condensed the wording so that it fits. So I can match, or I can, you know what? I'm going to match the style. I'm going to keep original. Keep original. That's a 311. Remember them? Come original. You got to come original. Oh, thanks. Tiffany attended one of my keynotes I did at a conference. I appreciate you, Tiffany. Thank you for saying that. I'm super happy that you're hanging out with us today. Oh, no, we want to wait. It's trying to kill this presentation. So what I did is I copy pasted into there. And if I wasn't streaming video right now, my internet would be working better. But I can copy paste that information in there. Look at this. It resized stuff, put it where it needed to go. Look at this. Now they can have it in their notebook. It's like literally me copy pasting the stuff I'm presenting on into their notebook. How cool would that be to be standing up there and they have their 3-ring binders and you want to, I want to put this in there. Copy, paste, boom. And their 3-ring binder just expands. And it's in there. Look at that. Or even resized it. It's beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to go assign that in Google Classroom. I'm going to go into, let's go to Defense Against the Dark Arts. I never had a teacher for more than 1 year. It's crazy how that worked out. Okay. So we're going to go to classwork because the S in stream stands for suggestion. We're going over to classwork. We're going to create it. This is something we want to grade. Do you want to grade this journal? I would probably grade the journal. If you don't want to, just put material. So we're going to call this, week. What did I say? We'll say I said week 4, daily assignment notebook. Call it whatever you want. We have clear instructions. Fill this out every day. No off days. Never loss. Never loss. I don't know what that means. LeVar Ball said it. And then you could say submit at the end of the week. You're amazing. Okay. We're going to go to add. And we're going to go to Google Drive. And hopefully it pulls up recent. I don't know if I've used it. Yep, there it is. Boom, recent. Ultimate Google Notebook, or Ultimate Digital Notebook. We want to make a copy for each student. We want to make it worth the correct amount of points. This is worth a 50-pointer. I mean, that's important, right? Oh, I didn't show this. As students complete the notebook, look what they can do. So it's got these check boxes. As students complete the stuff, and I've got instructions here for them, they can click the box. It's like an invisible box I put there, and then they can fill it in. Beep. They can fill it in with pretty colors. Look at this. It's a to-do list. They can fill it out and complete it as they go. Okay, the end. Don't do that on the check boxes before you sign it, because then it shows that they finished it. All right, I want to go in. I want to make the due date the end of the week, so we'll make that Friday. And then I want to make it, this could be, let's see if I have a topic for this. We're going to create a topic. This is going to be our weekly assignment notebooks. Because at the end of the 9 weeks, you're going to have 9 of these. So we want to put that in there. I'm going to hit assign. It's going to create a copy for everybody. Students have organization. They have clarity in what they're supposed to do. Parents, you can explain this to them. You can send a video. You can send this video to them. I don't know if you would want to do that, but you could. Explaining how to do it. I've got walkthroughs on there. They can know how to fill this out. And I hope it helps you in your classroom. It helps you be clear to your students and what they need to do, and hope that learning ensues, if you will. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great day and never stop learning. Peace. We did it. We did it. We learned something. Did you learn something today? In the chat, I want you to put the thing that you are taking away from today. Put one thing in the chat right now that you have learned, or that you have realized, or that's reinforced something you think. Put that one, that I like to call this the golden nugget. Put the golden nugget from today in the chat. And that way, if somebody's missed it, or they checked in, go ahead and you guys can copy paste what other people put. If there's some advice, you can screenshot it. Get this. I want you to throw in the best thing you learned today. It's like a best of highlight reel for your favorite thing that happened during this training. Toss that in the chat right now so we can share and grow together. Okay, we're about to do the evaluation. Before we do, I want to remind you, if you want access to this entire training at any time throughout the year, not just these live broadcasts, you can join the Tarver Academy Honor. Why'd I do this? Hey guys, Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's like Netflix for teachers. Netflix for teachers, because you have resources, you have templates, you have PDs, trainings. It's literally like a library of trainings, and then access to ask questions, to request resources that I build and send out to teachers all around the world. So tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to join the greatest community on the planet. And I'm not biased at all. I mean, all of us, you're on the honor roll. You want to be on the honor roll? Sick. Let's all be on the honor roll. And I'm a dean, so keep me on the dean's list. Hey, that works. Okay. All right. Now it's time for your evaluation. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you thought for this, but also I'm going to send you a certificate saying that you sat through this training. You put in the time. You wanted to learn. You wanted to grow. You wanted to get better. This is going to be a certificate that I'm going to email to you. What I need you to do is I need you to go to the link on the screen, or hover over the QR code with your phone. Get your phone out, hover over it. It's going to ask you a few questions. If you don't get this, it means that you put your email address in wrong. Make sure, please do not rush this. Type your email address in correctly. Please, I'm begging you, because if not, you're going to email me, I never got my certificate. It's because your email address is wrong. Type it in, type in your email address correctly, fill it out, fill out your name, make sure you capitalize, make it look good, because it's going to fill into the certificate from this. So I need you to put this in correctly, please. Okay, go there. We're going to walk you through it. Go into this, click on the link, or you can't click on the link because it's on a video. Type in the link on your computer, or type it in on your phone, or whatever device you have scan the QR code, fill it out. I'm gonna send you a certificate with a timestamp on it saying what time you ended. You have proof from earlier if you sent in to the other link of what time you started. And then you also got your notes and all the stuff you've learned, your screenshots, all of that to show your administrator or whoever, you know, your spouse, you show your friends, show people on the streets, all the learning that you did. You can frame that certificate. I think we're all getting framed. You get a frame, I'm getting framed. I'm gonna put it up on my shelf. I got too much stuff on my shelf already. So look at this, Lonzo Ball rookie card. If you got any, by the way, you got any basketball cards you wanna sell, hit me up. I've been slightly obsessed with basketball cards, and I apologize for bringing it up. Look at this. I've got, this is all Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I mean, he's the GOAT. Everybody says it. Who's in the chat? Who is your favorite basketball player of all time? I'd love to know. It was Lonzo Ball. It's quite the coincidence because I had it sitting on my desk. If not, it's probably this guy. Probably this guy right here. See that guy? That's Michael Jordan. No big deal. It's whatever. Don't like to brag about it. I mean, it's not that expensive, that card. But if you got any cards you want to sell, holler at me. I don't know why I said that. I'm just stalling so you guys can fill out your evaluation. All right. Y'all feel good? I'm gonna leave this on the screen for you for a little while in case you had to step out for a second. I'm gonna leave this up. Thank you again so much for your attention and your time and everything that you put into learning and growing with us today. I'm Tyler. This is Tarver Academy. Let's learn and have fun. See you guys later.